I played 100 more days in Stardew Valley for the very first time. That's right, we're doing a 200-day playthrough. I'm continuing my glorious journey in this pixelated, cozy farming game, and I am picking up right where I left off from my last 100-day video. So if you would like to see what I was able to accomplish in my first 100 days in Stardew Valley, I'll go ahead and link to that video down below. Just as a reminder, I'm experiencing this game for the first time without any prior knowledge of the game itself, and without using the Stardew Wiki. So basically, it's a blind playthrough, but it's been a ton of fun so far. So if you see me miss something obvious or do something that is rather silly or incorrect, please know that I don't know what it is, where I'm going, or what I'm doing. I've never played this game before, and I haven't watched any playthroughs, so this is all new to me. I'd also like to say thank you to all of you who watched my previous video, as you left me a bunch of really useful tips, which have helped me out so much during my 200-day journey. So please feel free to leave more non-spoiler tips that you think may help me out, especially if you see me struggling, which you will. Alright, my goals for this next 100-day stretch are as follows. I want to complete the community center, own every animal that is available to purchase from Marnie's ranch, gain 6 hearts with 10 villagers, and upgrade my home at least one time. With that being said, thanks for joining me on this adventure. I hope you enjoy watching, and let's dive back into Stardew Valley. We're back in the valley. Man, it feels good. Okay, I have my list in front of me of all the tips you guys left me in my last video, and there are a bunch. One of the tips I received was to check the TV every morning for the weather report, to learn recipes, and to check my luck for the day. I didn't do any of that last playthrough. I'm sorry. The weather forecast tomorrow seems to be snowy. Good to know. Let's check how lucky I'll be today. Seems to be good luck. Maybe that's my sign to go mining. And finally, let's check the cooking channel, and I received a trout soup recipe. Wow, I can't believe I went a whole year without checking my TV. All 3 of these features have proven to be pretty useful. Thanks for the tip, you guys. Well, it's been a few months since I've played, so I kind of forgot where I left off. So today is about finding my bearings once again. I want to try and complete the community center this year. I'm not sure if that is possible, as again, I'm staying off of the wiki and going in blind, but I'm going to make a list of everything I need and do my best to check everything off. There seems to be a lot I'm still missing, and I have a feeling completing the fishing bundles are going to prove to be the most annoying of the bunch. But hey, I'll give it a shot. Also, I've been made well aware that I should just make as many sprinklers as possible, as they don't get much better, so I'll try to do that as well. Once I finished taking care of my animals, I watered my crops and checked my mail. I received a request from Clint asking for an iron bar. I gotcha, Clint. So I went ahead and fired up a few iron bars, grabbed a few geodes and mystery boxes I had in my storage from my last playthrough, and made my way to the blacksmith's. What a fitting way to start this playthrough. Okay, never mind. Well, maybe I can track him down to give him the iron bar at least. He wasn't at the saloon, he wasn't at the night market. I give up. Well, back to the farm I go, and as I said earlier, I feel as if I need to up my sprinkler game, and the quality sprinklers require iron ore, gold, and refined quartz. I have a bunch of iron and gold ore I can smelt, but if I remember correctly, you can only get refined quartz from recycling trash? I honestly can't remember, but that means I may need to go fishing for trash tomorrow. I feel like I'm still in a dream. Shane sent me a recipe in the mail and said hee hee, and the letter sounds nice. I'm in the Twilight Zone, I just know it. Also, someone told me in the comments of my last video that Shane likes hot peppers, and considering the fact that he gave me a hot pepper recipe, I feel as if that's true. So maybe we'll have to swing by and give him a hot pepper later on. I also received a letter in the mail for a new festival called the Feast of the Winter Star, which involves a gift exchange. And you randomly get assigned a person, and I got Demetrius. So we gotta find something the scientist of the town will like for Christmas. I went to check up on my animals, and a new baby chick hatched. I forgot that a chicken egg was accidentally misplaced in the incubator last playthrough. I decided to name the new chick Chipotle. So cute. Once I took care of my animals, I made my way to Clint's to turn in his iron bar request and to open up my geodes and mystery boxes. I received my steel trash can back. Kind of forgot I upgraded that last time as well. Opened up all of my items, and I received a new item which I donated to the museum. I also quickly stopped by the community center and donated some maple syrup to the chef's bundle, 5,000 coins to the vaults, and a pufferfish I caught at the night market last playthrough to the specialty fish bundle. Another tip people left me in my last video was to purchase a calendar from Robin and hang it in my home so that it's easier to remember everyone's birthdays. That's a pretty good tip. How you hanging, bestie? Aw, Linus. By the way, I had like a handful of really mean comments on my last playthrough of people saying I'm super judgmental and a really mean person for feeling sorry for Linus. And that threw me for a loop. I'm sorry that I feel a bit of sympathy for someone who literally takes shelter in the bathhouse for warmth during the winter because he's freezing in his tent, who has to clean graffiti off of his tent because of people pulling pranks on him, for someone who, yes, seems to be enjoying living this lifestyle, but at the same time admits it's tough. I was baffled, to say the least, but I'm still going to be a good friend to Linus and help out when I can. I will not stand for Linus slander and slander against me for feeling these feelings towards my bestie. I went back home, crafted 2 more chests because I'm running out of room again, and crafted some fencing to repair the broken fences for the chicken and cow enclosures. Another great tip someone left me last time was that I don't have to chop down the broken fencing, just place the new one on top. Thank you, friends. You have saved me a bunch of time. I continued the evening by crafting more artisan goods and more metal bars for sprinklers. And when I ended the day, Gandalf gave birth to a new baby goat. I named the new baby goat Uncle Iroh. I also leveled up my foraging to level 8 and can cook a survival burger. I had a few more powder melon seeds in my inventory, so I figured I might as well plant them now before winter ends. I took care of my animals, fixed a few more fences, and as I was out of hay, I had to go buy some from Marnie because I didn't prepare properly last season. Fun! I love wasting all my money on hay. While I'm here... You like melons, Marnie? I still need to retrieve those underpants from your room, girl, so we need to be friends. While I'm in the area, I had a few people tell me to check out the area above the Wizard's Tower and next to the Traveling Merchant. What the heck? It's a new area! I'm excited to explore. Thank you, guys. So this new area is called the Secret Woods, and it's like a treasure trove of hardwood. There was also an old statue of a hunched over old man called Old Master Cannoli, and he's looking for something sweet and intriguing. I fished in the little pond next to the statue and actually found one of the fish I needed for the community center. What a wonderful discovery. It's so fun that I'm still discovering new things in this game after almost a full year cycle. I fished up some trash on my farm to attempt to create some more refined quartz bars for sprinklers, smelted more gold and iron bars, and ended the day leveling up my combat to 7. Should we be a bit social today, guys? I think we should be a bit social today, guys. I need to start increasing my friendship with everyone so I can see more of their heart events. And I'll be sure to bring a hot pepper with me for Shane. First, I gave a sunflower to Haley because I remember that she loves them. So far, so good. Next, I gave Emily a sweet pea flower, and she also seemed to like it. For Sebastian, a tomato. I remembered tomatoes and corn for this dude. I gave Sam some cola I found while fishing, and to my surprise, he really liked it. I figured since he works at Joja Mart, he might like it, and he did. Penny got a sweet pea flower, as did Elliot. Shane, the internet told me you like peppers. Let me follow him. The internet told me, so it must be true. Well, what do you know? The internet didn't lead me astray. Aw, he looks so happy. I also handed out some flowers to Caroline, Jody, and Evelyn, and I didn't know it was her birthday. I mean, I put the calendar up in my house, but I didn't check it. Oops. Well, happy birthday. I stopped by the museum and donated the mudskip fish, leaving only one fish left to find. And as I know fishing is going to be hard because I have no idea what fish I'm missing and in what season they're in, I decided to fish for the rest of the day. I fished a bit in the river and found a lingcod, which was a bit difficult to catch, but it doesn't seem like it's a needed fish for community center donations. I'm not going to stress too much about the fish, as I know it's going to be hard to catch them all without knowing the location and the season, but I'll try. I was able to learn how to make pumpkin pie from the cooking show on TV. I'm so glad you guys told me about this. I received a message from Robin asking for some hardwood. Girl, I know where to find a bunch of that stuff now. I got you. I decided to just fulfill that request right away, and I earned a new achievement in the process. Love to see it. While there, I decided to check and see how much an upgraded coop and barn would cost me, as I'd like to upgrade both this playthrough and add a few more animals to the family. I still have a ways to go though. I entered Pierre's shop and ran into my first hard event with Abigail. She was playing a video game and seems to have been having a hard time with it. And you know, I feel like my character needs to understand boundaries. I just waltz into people's rooms and homes like I own the whole village. She told me she's been playing a video game called Journey of the Prairie King and was having a hard time getting past the first level. So I decided to play alongside her, and it was an actual little mini game that we got to play. How fun! But what wasn't fun was that I lost my first 2 lives because I was pressing the wrong button, wondering why my character wasn't shooting. But I figured it out and we beat the level, and she looked super happy. Aw, it was nice to finally have some cutscenes with Abigail, and she's a gamer. I love it. I decided to start planting some fruit trees, as I've yet to do that, and I bought a cherry tree and an apricot tree, as I'll be able to get at least 1 harvest from them come spring. I also bought the 2 summer trees as well, but I'm broke now. I'm trying to up my crop game this time around. I mapped out a little area on the left side of my farm to plant my fruit trees, and now all we have to do is wait. I do think I'm going to save whatever money I make over the next 7 days for seeds at the beginning of spring though. I decided to move my artisan machines inside the coop and barn. I'll need to make a few more, but I'll focus on that after I craft sprinklers. But I also decided to incubate a duck egg, since we only have 2 duckies and I have enough room in this coop for 1 more friend. I'm gonna run into the secret forest really quick to gather some hardwood, and I gave Marnie a parsnip to further expand our friendship. I foraged a bit afterwards, chopped down a few trees, and gathered a bunch of carrot seeds for the springtime. Why are they still seeds? Oh my god, I thought when it snowed it watered the crops. Well, a few of those seeds are going to go to waste. Oh well. I then fished on my farm for a bit in hopes to find some trash to turn into refined quartz bars, and then ended the day. I'm out of hay. Again. The misery never ends. Alright Marnie, you know the drill. Accept my gift and sell me some hay. No wait, you're supposed to sell me hay! Damn it. Such a tease. Okay, guess we'll hand out more gifts today. Another note I wrote down is that Sebastian likes sashimi, and I have quite a bit of sashimi in my inventory, so I'll trust you guys. You didn't let me down with Shane and the peppers, so I'm confident Sebastian will like the sashimi. Also, I should check out that request board in town. I've yet to do one of the harder requests, so I should just choose something and give it a shot. I gave Elliot a crocus flower alongside Penny, and I have a bunch of Joja Cola, so Sam got a can of that, as I now know he loves it. And next to those 2 villagers was the request board I've been avoiding. I have been meaning to fish anyways, so I went with the biome balance quest. Plus I can sell any extra fish for cash. 20 fish doesn't seem too difficult. Haley gets a sunflower, once again, and Emily gets a flower too. I then gave Abigail a purple flower, and apparently she likes to eat any flower that she doesn't hate. Alex received some corn, and as I was making my way to give Sebastian some sashimi, I ran into one of his heart events. I'm getting lucky with the heart events so far. I waltzed into his room, as I tend to do. He didn't seem to mind though, and I decided to stay and stare at him while he was working, and I'm surprised he didn't say something. He's a bit more chill than I thought. He finished up his work on the computer, and I decided to ask him what he was up to. Turns out he's a freelance programmer. He didn't strike me as the programming type. He's trying to get rid of me. We're finally having some quality alone time. Tell Sam to kick rocks. Robin came downstairs and she called him Sebby. I may have to steal that. She told Sebastian that Abigail was looking for him, and he seemed a bit annoyed since he was working and previously told me he didn't want to leave the house today. Only I'm allowed to stop by unannounced. I have special privileges being the newbie in town. I understand being annoyed though. As someone who now works from home too, it's a common occurrence that people don't take your job as seriously simply because you're at home. It can be quite frustrating, so I relate to that feeling. I asked him why he didn't want to see his friends, and yes, I also relate to this as well. As an introvert, I need a bunch of alone time to recharge my social battery, and personal alone time is just as important to some people as social time is to others. I'm really connecting with Sebastian. I knew the fact that he loved tomatoes was a good sign. I left so he could get back to work, but I'm glad I got to know a bit more about Sebastian. We have quite a bit in common. And since he seemed a bit stressed, I gave him some sashimi, and you mad lads were right. He does love it. I'm saving the rest of my sashimi for you, Sebby. I found Linus in the bathhouse and gave him a gift as well. Stay warm, bestie. I also found Shane at the saloon and gave him another hot pepper. He thanked me, then instantly insulted me again. I'll give him a pass. For now. I then went fishing near the beach for the rest of the evening to tackle Demetrius's quest, and I managed to catch 10 fish, so we're halfway there. Girl, my animals are starving because of you. Jeez, what a waste of money. What the heck is this? Oh, I didn't even notice I picked this up while I was waiting for Marnie to open her doors. Okay, here you go, Marnie. Just disappointment after disappointment with you this week. I bought enough hay to last the next few days, and my animals are upset at me. Rightfully so, but it breaks my heart. Half of the blame falls on Marnie if I want to be petty about the situation, and I do. Okay, I need a fried egg for a community center donation, so I'm gonna cook one up really quickly, and I also learned how to make stir fry from the TV lady. Thanks, TV lady. I donated the fried egg to the chef's bundle, donated that cursed looking doll to the museum, and it looks like we still have a bit left to find, but we're getting there. I decided to head back to the beach to continue fishing so I could complete Demetrius's fish request, and I finished it around 8:30 and received a good chunk of money as a reward, and at the end of the evening, I leveled up my fishing skill to level 8. The next morning, I received a letter from Demetrius thanking me for completing that request of his, and he included a blueprint for a farm computer. That sounds interesting. Also, I need to pick out a gift for him today because it's the Feast of the Winter Star Festival. Maybe, since he set up the bat caves earlier for me, he'd like either mushrooms or fruit? Maybe an orange? I quickly took care of the animals and then headed into town to start the festival, and everything looks so cheery and festive. Aw, it makes me miss Christmas time already. I went around and said hello to everyone and talked to Willie, where I discovered a bit of lore about the Winter Star. It's said that there is a bright star that can only be seen from this valley, and people used to come from all over just to see it, and by looking upon the star, you would be blessed with good fortune. The Winter Star may also be where the star drop fruit originates from. I love that there's an origin story connecting to this festival. Oh my god. Why, Linus? Why? Why do you make me so sad? This cheery music isn't helping either. Why does Alex look sad? Okay, game, what gives? You're depressing me during my favorite holiday. That's the third person who is sad. My god, I have to talk to Shane next. I swear he better be tipsy and having a good time. Okay, he seems fine. All right, Demetrius, I hope you like oranges. He hates it. He absolutely hates it. That was cute. And there were some really adorable items at the market, but I'm saving my money, so next time I'll grab them. Once the festival was over, I went home, created a few more artisan goods, and ended the day. I am kind of just waiting for winter to be over at this point because I'm saving my money for seeds and I don't really want to go mining quite yet. So I think I'll take this opportunity to talk to the town a bit more. I've been enjoying the heart events I've seen thus far, and I need to start getting serious about my future prospects. I am still unsure who I'd like as my partner. It's tough. I need to see more heart events, but Sam, Sebastian, and maybe Shane. That's my current top 3. First, let's fulfill a few requests. Marnie asked for some amaranth ages ago, and I thought a bundle meant like a full stack of amaranth. Nope, just one. Quest completed. Oh my god, yes. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna grab these off the floor. Gross. I'm gonna parade these purple undies around town before returning them to the mayor. You know exactly where I found them. If you didn't want me to air out your dirty laundry, you shouldn't have asked me to fetch them. Sir, you better not be threatening me. All right, gift time. I gave a soda to Sam, found Sebastian in his little tech cave and gave him some sashimi. Shane got a hot pepper, and when I went to give a flower to Haley, we entered yet another heart event. Haley was spazzing over not being able to open up a jar, and so she voluntold me to open it for her. And that was that? Was that even a heart event? It was rather short, so I'm not sure. Well, anyways, I gave her a flower along with Penny and Elliot. I then went inside the saloon and handed out a few more gifts to the non-romanceable NPCs. I also found the 2 lovebirds in the saloon, and it's just painfully obvious at this point. Get a room. Also just remembered Gus requested an albacore, so I went ahead and completed that request while I was here as well. I went back home and crafted 15 quality sprinklers, which I think should be plenty for now. Started placing them down, and I'm not super concerned about the layout right now. I'm just focused on preparing for spring. Well, well, well. Hello, Marnie. Hopefully you were here to discuss animals and not purple pieces of clothing. Still not sure where this is going. Oh, okay, good. I thought she was about to threaten me too. Marnie asked me to fetch her some cave carrots so she can teach her goat English. Okay. She also sent me a letter with a broth recipe. Marnie's coming out of the gate strong with our new blossoming friendship, and I can get behind it. I started placing down a few more sprinklers, and you know, I think I might actually need a few more. I just need more of the refined quartz, so I'm gonna gather some trash today. I also realized I'm not placing the sprinklers in the most beneficial spots, so I moved them over a bit. And yeah, I kind of spent the whole day fishing up trash and trying to organize my sprinklers. Kind of a boring day. Today is the last day of winter, and I'm excited because I want to start planting some spring crops already. I received a letter in the mail from Linus, and he gave me some food. It's always the ones with the least in life that are the most generous. Thanks, bestie. When I went to check up on my chickens, a new duck hatched. I kind of forgot what trend I was using for my duck names, so I just went with Taffy. Today I'm going to finish preparing my land for crops, and the frustrating thing about my farm is that there are only so many places I'm able to plant crops. I don't know if that's the case for every Stardew Valley farm or for my farm in particular, but I'll make it work. I also received a tip on my last video that planting grass starters on the last night of the season will result in more grass the next day, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I greeted the start of the spring season with a new character at my door, Kent. I remember reading a letter from Kent. He is Sam and Vincent's dad, and he was overseas fighting in a war. It seems he came back home and he came to greet me, which was really nice. He's pretty straightforward, but that's not a bad thing. Plus, this guy has probably seen a lot of horror, so I'll go easy on him, obviously. After he left, Jody arrived at my door and asked if I wanted to have dinner with their family this evening, and if so, to bring a largemouth bass with me. Alright, quite a specific request. She's obviously using me for a free dinner. I see through you, Jody. I also received a fried mushroom recipe from Demetrius, and Emily sent me a sea urchin. And wow, thank you guys for that tip. My whole coop and barn are flooded with grass. I'm so thankful for that because I was out of hay. First stop of the season, Pierre's so I can buy a bunch of seeds. But actually, never mind, because I walked into one of Emily's heart events. We aren't slowing down on the heart events, you guys. So a poor little parrot flew into Emily's window and she started rocking it back and forth, saying the bird is different from the others, just like her. She plans to nurse the little guy back to health. You're awesome, Emily. I knew I liked you for a reason, girl. Can I visit the bird then? Oh my god. Oh, I hope you feel better soon, little guy. I knew from the beginning that Emily was going to be one of my favorites of all the females. We have a lot in common. I bought 32 of each seed, so we'll just go from there. Maybe that's overkill. Maybe it's not enough. I don't know yet, but I do know that I need to step up my farming game. All right, time to plant my seeds, and as you could probably imagine, it took me all day, and I didn't even finish planting them all, and I need more sprinklers. So, I guess we'll do that tomorrow. What an absolutely beautiful sight to behold. Pierre sent me a message letting me know he's selling more crops now, so I guess we'll run back over there and see what he has in stock. There's nothing new here. You lied to me, Pierre. I definitely need to fish soon so I can try to create more refined quartz to craft more sprinklers, but in the meantime, I went ahead and mapped out some future areas for crops and manually watered the seeds. I am still slightly annoyed that this untillable land keeps getting in the way of my pattern layouts. It bugs me when things aren't balanced and symmetrical, and I feel like I barely got anything done and the day is already over. The days go by so fast. But what can you do? I need to get my farm going and it takes a lot of work. I turned on the TV the next morning to learn a new recipe, and it was for maki rolls, which I know I need for the community center, so this is wonderful. Thank you, cooking show lady. I was able to craft 2 more sprinklers and spent more time fixing up the farm. I tilled some earth near one of my ponds to plant my rice shoots and just went around doing random chores. Since it's raining today, I want to try and catch a few fish. I just have a feeling a few I'm missing at the museum are weather-specific fish, and I want to grab a few more rice shoots from Pierre's. The beginning of the month is just a lot of prep work on the farm, but it's honestly kind of fun. I'm not digging the chaotic layout, but I'll fix the layout later. On my way to the river, I checked out the request board and found another fishing request from Demetrius, who wanted me to catch a few largemouth bass. Isn't that convenient? Jody needs me to catch one for her dinner too, so 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, we're going to fish in the rivers, lakes, and ocean to see if we can catch anything new. First fish I caught was a brand new fish, but it wasn't needed for a donation, which sucks. And on my second attempt, I caught one I actually did need for the museum, a catfish. Oh my god, dude. That's the last fish I need for the river bundle. Always fish in the rain, you guys. I bought a few more rice shoots from Pierre's and then made my way to the community center to donate the 2 river fish I caught, completing the river fish bundle, and I received some deluxe bait as a reward. The only fish I'm missing now are a sturgeon, which seems to be located in the lakes, an eel, which is a nighttime fish, and a sandfish. I have no idea where to locate the sandfish or the eel, so finding them may prove to be difficult. I went home, planted the rest of my rice shoots and the remainder of my seeds haphazardly. I have enough sprinklers for now, I think, and I've realized I'm producing more animal products a day than my machines can handle, so now my focus is going to be set on crafting more artisan machines. I quickly crafted a scarecrow to go near my rice shoots, crafted 6 more mayo machines and 5 more cheese presses, and I'm ready for business. This is going to make things so much easier and I'll be able to earn more money daily. I used a lot of resources, but I believe it was worth it. And while I was in a crafting mood, I decided to craft 2 more beehives. This is going to be my most productive season yet, and I'm so excited. Finally, I'll have money. It probably will go towards a bunch of various upgrades, but still, money, you guys. One last thing to craft before ending the day, a worm bin, and from there, I used the worm bin to craft a deluxe worm bin. Marnie, where was this generosity last season? You saw me suffering, girl, and you did nothing. My carrots were ready to harvest the next morning, and I figured, since I had the money, I might as well finish off another section in the community center by donating $25,000 to the vault, which is the last bundle I need to do in that room, so let's go ahead and do that. As a reward, I got a crystallarium, which will duplicate any gem I put inside, and once again, we got to see another cute little cutscene with the Junimos repairing the room and adding another star to the fireplace. I love watching the little guys follow me around. It's so adorable. Alright, I think I'm doing pretty good so far for such a slowpoke. I made my way to the bathhouse really quickly because my energy was a bit low. Plus, look how cute and relaxed I look. I deserve it after working so hard on my farm this week. I still need to find 10 largemouth bass, and it looks like I can find them in the lakes, so I think we'll try the lake and the ocean tonight for the bass and the eel. Maybe the eel is also in the lake? Maybe I can't even catch it this season. I don't know, but I've been pretty lucky so far, so we'll see if my lucky streak continues. And it seems I was not lucky at all. But completing the vault unlocked the bus stop, so that's cool. All of my parsnips and garlic were ready to harvest the next morning, and I harvested just enough gold quality parsnips for a community center donation as well. After watering my plants and taking care of all of my animals, I went to the lake near Marnie's ranch to try and find the 10 largemouth bass to complete that time request, and an extra one so I can have dinner with Sam and Jody. I fished for a few hours near the lake and only found smallmouth bass. What gives? So maybe they are more rare or only found in certain areas. So I fished for a little while longer at this lake, then decided to move to the lake near the mountains, and still no luck. Well, guess I'll try again tomorrow. Who knew this fish would be so hard to find? Did I just get invaded by aliens or something? What the heck is this? Something fleshy? No. Nope, I'm not. That just sounds like a huge problem and I don't want to deal with it. What do I do with it? See, now I'm stressed out. Okay, well, I'm going to tuck this thing away for now. I have no idea what it is, and I don't really feel like being consumed by an intergalactic being today. Once I was done on the farm, I decided to try and catch that darn largemouth bass again. I first headed back to the mountain lakes to try my luck once again, and after a few hours, I finally caught one. And seriously, I don't think popular is the correct description for this fool. I fished until around 8:30, but unfortunately didn't catch another largemouth bass. I don't think I'll be able to complete this request, unfortunately, but at least I caught one for Jody's request. I had a bunch of flowers ready to harvest this morning. They're so pretty. Ugh, I love being able to have a bunch of stuff to harvest and collect. I'm actually farming in a farming sim. What a concept. With all the metal bars I've been using lately though, I'll need to hop back in the mines to replenish my inventory. All of my potatoes and kale were ready to harvest as well, and I'd like to be able to plant another round of veggies on the farm, so I'll do that soonish. I also found another secret note while fishing last night, asking me to come to the secret woods with some maple syrup. Maybe for the statue? The note seemed very convincing and was written by someone who definitely wouldn't shank me from behind. And as my curiosity got the better of me, I did as I was told and made my way to the woods. It seems the note was written by an English-speaking, hyper-aware brown bear. And sure, why not? Let's approach the talking predator. I guess the magic spell that the wizard bestowed upon me allows me to speak with all creatures of the woods. Anyways, I gave the bear the maple syrup. The way he was asking me about it was almost like I was acting as his dealer. Okay, well, he seems quite happy, and I'm a little freaked out by it. But I guess the bear is our friend now, and we kind of looked as if we desperately wanted to escape this awkward and uncomfortable scenario. And somehow he was able to make blackberries and salmon berries worth 3 times the gold. Not bad, bear. Not bad. Alright, well, let's complete a few requests. I went to Marnie's farm to give her the cave carrot and entered a cutscene. Her 2-heart event, I guess. And as she was talking to me, I just threw the carrot on the ground and I wasn't even looking her in the face. It's because you denied me, hey. And then a new cutscene started. Maybe Shane's 4-heart cutscene, I take it? We see him in his room passed out on the floor next to a bunch of beer cans, and Marnie asks if we could do something since he's passed out. I guess that works. Marnie comments that all he does is mope around and drink these days, and he seems a bit frustrated by that comment and tells her she wouldn't understand. She asks about his future plans, and he has quite the dark response to that question. Then Jas hears him say that, and she runs away crying, and he gets upset at himself for saying that. Aw, this is so sad. He seems to be in such a dark place and is really frustrated with himself. Poor Shane. Well, let's see where this goes. I stopped by the community center and donated a potato to the spring crops bundle and 5 golden parsnips to the quality crops bundle. From there, I found Emily and gave her the apricot she requested and said hi to Shane, as I felt like he could use a little cheering up. From there, I decided to finally complete Jody's largemouth bass request, which I believe is one of her heart events as well. I was welcomed in by Kent, and Jody thanked me for bringing the fish. Sam seemed a bit annoyed for some reason, and then Jody seemed annoyed that her husband eats a lot as well. So far this is a pretty awkward family dinner I'm stuck attending, and that was that. At least it seems like the dinner went well. I decided to buy up all the recipes at the saloon while I was in town and headed to sleep, leveling up my farming skill to 10, where I decided to go with the shepherd profession, as it seemed a bit more useful. Okay, I know the bus was just unlocked a few days ago, and we are going to go there soon, I swear. But I kind of want to replenish my garden with more crops today, and then tomorrow we'll go check out the bus. I bought a little bit of everything, planted all the seeds in the area around my sprinklers, fished for more junk to make more refined quartz for even more sprinklers, crafted 4 more, placed them down, and ended the day. After completing a few morning chores on the farm, I had a few more flowers ready to harvest, and all of my rice was ready to pick as well. Alright, let's go to the bus stop. I remember someone I talked to recently mentioned that Pam was drinking less because of the bus being active, so maybe she's the bus driver? I decided to wait around the area until 11 to see if someone showed up, and right on cue, Pam comes waddling along. Alright, let's go check out the desert. I'm so excited. Oh, cool! It's an entirely new area. I'm glad I can pet the camel. I would rage otherwise. So it seems like there are a bunch of new items for sale, many which require trading items instead of money, such as Omni Geodes and Iridium bars, which seems like a lot of work. I found a cactus fruit and decided to try fishing in the little pond near the bus stop, as I know I have a fish left to catch called a sandfish, so perhaps I can find it in the desert, given the name. And I was correct. With this little guy, I'll be able to complete the specialty fish bundle at the community center. Okay, next, I noticed a cave nearby, so I went inside and interacted with the door, where I was able to unlock it due to finding a skeleton key in my previous playthrough after reaching the bottom of the mines. This place seems a bit ominous. Okay. My sword's not hurting him at all. Should I not be here yet? You know, I think I'm gonna come back later. I'm low on energy, I have no food, and I don't want to lose my sandfish, so I'll come back once I'm better prepared. I did, however, find another area on the other side of the bus stop that had more forageables, including coconuts, a cat statue that looks important for later, and a brightly colored building called the Oasis, where I met a new character, Sandy. Sandy seemed happy that the bus line was back in service, and that was that. She seems to be the Pierre of the Calico Desert, just a bit more cheery and nice to talk to. She also seems to sell seeds I can't get in the valley, including rhubarb seeds. I decided to buy a few, and I bought a few pieces of clothing as well, as I truly want to find a different outfit to wear. Well, this guy isn't suspicious looking at all. I'm obviously not cool enough to go in the back room yet, but yeah, this place is really cool. I'm excited to explore it more, and it gives me another reason to head back into the mines soon so I can upgrade my weapons. When I got back to the farm, I checked my mail and received a letter from Marnie, who told me they now have an auto grabber in stock, which essentially gathers all of my eggs, milk, and other animal resources for me. That's pretty useful. It is expensive though. I planted a few more of my new seeds and then called it a night. We had a bunch of blue jazz flowers ready to harvest the next morning. They're so cute. Okay, I think I want to head on over to Robin's today to see if there are any other useful buildings I can purchase for my farm. I now have rice seeds that I need to turn into rice itself, and I think I need a mill to do that. I also need to buy a rabbit here shortly to obtain a rabbit's foot. And yep, a mill doesn't cost too much. I just need a bit more cloth, I think. And right now I only have 3 pieces of cloth. So I ran over to Pierre's to see if he had any cloth for sale, and nope, he did not. I am able to get cloth from recycling certain trash I fish up. I seem to be spending a lot of time fishing up trash lately. So yes, we shall do that again, and maybe craft more sprinklers. And unfortunately, every piece of trash I recycled produced items other than cloth. Maybe it's luck-based? I did find another secret note that listed some special orders at the Stardrop Saloon, so perhaps this note is listing some favorite items for these specific villagers. I have so many things going on in my brain right now with what I still need to do in this game, and I don't know which task to tackle first. I also feel bad because I feel like I've done nothing the last week or so. I'm sorry. I told you I am a slow player. I don't know how these other YouTubers do it, dude. I can't properly juggle everything in an organized and timely manner, and it's giving me anxiety. Well, anyways, I had some green beans ready to harvest, and I know that's the last item needed for the spring crops bundle. And I still have that sandfish I need to donate, so I'm going to head into town to do that and bring a few gifts with me as well. First, the community center. Donating the sandfish rewarded me with some food, and donating a green bean rewarded me with some fertilizer. Next, I want to say hi to the villagers. Even though I'm an introvert, I do need some form of human contact every now and then. I gave Haley a yellow tulip, and she liked it. Sam got cola again. I'll try to give him something new down the line, but I know he likes it, and I have a ton, so it's an easy level up gift. Emily received a purple tulip. I gave Alex some food. Maru got a green bean, and thankfully she liked it. Sebi got some sashimi, of course, and what? He has a motorcycle? Did his coolness factor just go up? Motorcycles terrify me, but no one can deny they are cool looking. And he's a nerd too. He's a calm, nice, yet slightly emo introverted nerd who rides a motorcycle. Uh-oh. Yeah, I think Sebastian is starting to become my favorite, but it's still early. I'm not quite sure yet. Ah, he likes to chill from time to time. Robin got a flower as well, and I tracked down Shane to give him yet another hot pepper. I gave Penny and the kids some blue jazz flowers, and accepted a quest on the board from Pierre for 25 gold star vegetables. Although it sounded like he just wanted to rip the town off. The more I listen to what Pierre says, the more I'm a bit sus about him. I got lucky and finally received a duck feather from my little feathered friends, and some of the trash I fished up finally produced another piece of cloth, so I can go ahead and buy the mill tomorrow, and then look into upgrading my barn and coop to add even more animals. The next morning, I received a letter from Mr. Key challenging me to make it to level 25 in the caverns, and if I do, he'll reward me with a bunch of money. Okay, sir, I don't think you understand how overwhelmed I am right now. You're gonna have to wait. But I'll keep this quest on the back burner in my mind, along with everything else. I also received a letter from Mayor Lewis about the Egg Festival, which is today because I forgot to check my mail yesterday. And I just remembered, I lost to Abigail last year. Oh my god, I'm stressing out over this now. Once I was done watering my plants and tending to my animals, I headed into town to start the second annual egg hunt. I don't remember seeing strawberry seeds at Pierre's. Can I only purchase them here? That's an honest question I have, and I'd appreciate it if one of you could answer in the comments, because I could have grown strawberries this entire time, but now I've basically missed my window of opportunity. I'm gonna grab a bunch anyways. I also bought the plush bunny because it was adorable looking. The villagers' dialogue is a bit different from last year, I think, which is nice. I can't quite remember, but it sounds different. Okay, so my strategy this time around, go down. Do not go up towards the map because last time it was a trap. Are you kidding me? I lost again? She needs to be banned next year. I'm serious. Okay, I'm gonna go buy that mill when Robin opens up shop, but first I want to plant around half of the strawberry seeds I purchased at the festival, as I still have enough time for 1 to 2 rounds of strawberries this season. I also had a bunch of stuff to harvest, which was nice. Alright, I made my way to Robin's, purchased the mill, and then ran into the community center to donate the duck feather to the dye bundle. From there, I made my way to Pierre's to donate the 25 gold star crops he asked for, completing that request. Now I've done 2 board requests, which is better than none. Back at my farm, I received a letter from Lewis stating there will be a 3-day festival in the Calico Desert with games, food, and prizes soon. Sounds fun. Another new festival. For the rest of the evening, I decided to organize my chests and get rid of a lot of the excess crops and items I've been holding onto for extra cash. It's going to take a while for me to be satisfied with my chest organization, but I'm getting there. And look at that. I made a pretty decent amount at the end of the day. Probably the most I've made in one day so far. Well, since we have a bunch of money right now, I figured it would be wise to upgrade the barn or the coop. Robin's not working today. Okay, never mind the upgrade then. Upgrades will have to wait a day, and I actually just realized I can't even purchase an upgrade until she's done building my mill. Get to it, girl. I ran to the museum to donate an anchor I had in my inventory for quite some time, then had Clint open up a geode and some mystery boxes I had on me as well. And I received a bunch of fertilizers and food from the mystery boxes, so that's pretty useful. I also checked to see what the next upgrade for my tools would be, and everything needs an iridium upgrade besides my trash can. So I decided to upgrade my trash can while I was at the shop. I'll need to hop in the mines soon though to grab more resources, as I'm pretty much out of everything at this point. So what to do today? Well, considering I'm going to do a barn and coop upgrade soon, and I know I'll need a ton of wood for both, I'm gonna gather materials today. I managed to grab around 475 pieces of wood, so I'm satisfied with that amount. It looks like the mill has finished construction, so I went ahead and placed some rice seeds inside so we can become one step closer to cooking the maki rolls for the museum. I know you could buy rice from Pierre, but it's more special if I make it. Plus, I am finally seeing Pierre for who he truly is, a scam artist. Oh yeah, the festival in the desert. I totally forgot. No, that means she isn't here. Why is my timing so awful lately? Are you kidding me? I have to do Pam's job today too? No one in this dang valley wants to work but me. Well, at least the festival looks adorable, and Lewis showed me a bit of appreciation. Honestly though, he just doesn't want me talking to anyone about his purple boxers. Okay, I can't buy anything from Caroline because I have no idea what a calico egg is, and I have 0 of them. Same with Abigail's booth. But it seems like there is a clothing booth near Emily. Just what I wanted. Some new clothing. It kind of looks like I belong in the Old West slinging beers. Also gives Little House on the Prairie vibes. The bow makes it a bit better. He's giving me Johnny Bravo vibes. And now he's trying to wrangle me into a scam. Sure. Why not? He seems trustworthy. What on earth is that? I'm just gonna sell this cursed thing. There was a challenge from the Adventurers Guild down in the Skull Caverns as well, but I'm gonna be a bit of a wimp and skip that for now. I just have a feeling I'm gonna perish down there if I decide to do that right now. Should I just do it? I have the money. I'm just gonna do it. Linus, please, buddy. I could have paid for your ticket. I tried to catch the scorpion fish that Willie posted a challenge for, and I am pretty sure I had it on my line 2 times, but it was insanely hard to catch, so I gave up. Well, I got some new clothing and a cursed cactus, so cool. I do want to come back tomorrow to see if Emily can dress me a bit more appropriately. The festival is really cute though. Okay, next I had 2 secret notes that I opened up. One that listed some of the protein heavy foods Alex seems to like, And the second secret note was a bunch of different things Abigail likes to eat. I'll need to refer back to these notes at a later date so I can cook some of their favorite foods. The next morning, I learned a new recipe, cranberry candy, and I received a letter with 500 gold coins inside from Lewis as a thank you for just being in the valley. I see through you, Lewis. This is hush money, isn't it? My first bundle of rice was completed at the mill, which means I can now cook a maki roll. What an accomplishment. From there, I headed to the community center and donated the rabbit's foot, completing the enchanter's bundle, and I donated the maki rolls to the chef's bundle, leaving only a truffle left to donate. I still have to try and find the sturgeon and the eel. Maybe I'll fish around for them in the next few days. Alright, I headed to the desert again for the festival and immediately ran to Emily's booth to get a new makeover. Emily, what the heck is this? I look like the kid from It. Girl, you definitely didn't read my aura correctly. I'll just go ahead and put my old clothes back on. I browsed the booths a bit, but since I don't have any calico eggs, I couldn't buy much. I did, however, pick up a tea sapling from the traveling merchant, along with another rare seed and a houseplant. Robin was at her post today, so I was able to purchase a deluxe barn, unlocking sheep and pigs. I still need a truffle, and in every other farming sim I've played, pigs are able to uncover truffles, so I figure that's how to work in this game too. Linus was out in the rain, so I gave him a green bean. Get inside your tent, Linus. I gave Maru a green bean as well, and Robin a flower. And I ran into Alex, who said he'd play catch with me if I wasn't a girl. Okay, Alex. I said I'd play with him, and he kind of apologized, but then he made an excuse not to play. He knows I'd kick his butt. I then planted my little tea sapling up in the corner by my fruit trees and headed to sleep. I added some wheat in the mill for the first time and had a bunch of items to gather up in my garden. I think I'm going to try and go for the last nighttime fish tonight, and I'm going to fish in both the river and the ocean for the eel. It could be in either place, honestly. Until then, it's gift giving time. I need to reach 6 hearts with 10 people, and my only 6 heart friend right now is my bestie Linus. So I have a lot of work ahead of me, and I'm dying to see more heart events. I gave a flower to Caroline and Evelyn, and Miss Granny really seemed to love her gift. She's so adorable. You know the drill with Sam, and Emily also received a flower. Given how she's very spiritual, likes to meditate, and talks about auras a lot, I bet she'd like crystals or gemstones. Maybe I should try giving her one next time. And on the request board, would you have guessed? Emily had a request for some crystals. I swear that is a huge coincidence. I write many of my scripts as I play the game in real time, so that was just a strange coincidence. Mayor Lewis also had a request for 100 green beans before the end of the season, and I had a bunch on my farm, so I think I can complete that quest in time, so that's what I went with. Shane received yet another hot pepper. I gave Abigail a flower since she loves to eat them. Maru got another green bean. Penny received a flower. And I was having a hard time tracking down Sebastian. His sashimi is going to go bad. I did find Shane in the saloon though, and he seems to be slowly allowing me into his inner circle, which is cool. I love to see people open up. My favorite feature in games like this is dynamic dialogue based on events and friendship status. It makes it feel like your choices and growing friendships truly matter. Oh my god, I forgot to fish today. My barn upgrade was completed, so I went ahead and foraged until 9 a.m. and then made my way to Marnie's ranch to purchase some piggies. I have enough money to buy 2 pigs. Man, they are expensive. But the first one I named Bacon, and the second one I named Sausage. I know, very original names. Now I just need to increase my relationship with them in hopes that they can produce a single truffle in the next 70 days. I think they can do it. I finally managed to find Sebi down in his room and gave him some more sashimi. Become friends with me, dang it. Excuse me? And he said it with a smile. Well, if you insist. Although, it is a bit too quiet down here, even for my liking. While there, I painted my new coop black and light blue, just to experiment with the colors, and destroyed the small cabin I bought since I obviously won't be using it. I handed out a few flowers and snooped a bit more in Marnie's room, and while looking through her dresser, I found a pair of brown suspenders inside. Just marry each other already. The whole town knows this is more than just a fling, you guys. You don't hide it very well. And I didn't forget to go fishing today. I made my way to the beach for a few hours to try to catch the last nighttime fish. I decided to try the beach first, and if I get unlucky, I'll move to the river tomorrow. And I didn't find an eel. All I caught were anchovies, halibut, and herrings. So hopefully I'll get lucky fishing in the river tomorrow. I'm going to cook up a bunch of sashimi for Sebastian with all the fish I caught yesterday. We shall be friends, nerdy motorcycle boy. I gave Emily a diamond and I was hoping for a bigger reaction, but at least she didn't hate it. I then walked into Sam's home and walked into his next heart event. He was in the kitchen looking for something to eat and he dropped an egg on the floor. His mom came running into the kitchen and honestly, the dramatics. It's just an egg. She seems like the type to turn nothing into a whole lot of something. So I took the blame because she wouldn't yell at me. You are such a liar! You were totally about to go off on your son, ma'am. I saw your face. Oh, and that was that. Okie dokie. But I did find Sebastian hanging out with Sam, so I gave him some sashimi. And now we are at 4 hearts. We're making progress. Also, it seems to be Shane's birthday today, so I'm going to go grab another pepper so we can give it to him as a birthday gift. I saw Haley walking by and handed her a sunflower. I'm so boring when it comes to the variety in my gift giving. And I found him in the saloon and gave him his favorite hot pepper. And he was actually really nice about it. My goodness, Shane, what a change in character. I handed out a few gifts at the saloon and gave Gus a green onion, and I seem to really have ruined his day with this one. Sorry, Gus. All right, time to try for the eel in the river. And once again, I was unlucky, only finding smallmouth bass and trash. Well, I'll try fishing another night at the beach and keep rotating until I find that dang fish. I learned yet another recipe on the TV called Complete Breakfast, and I remember Alex listed this as a favorite dish from a secret note I found, so yay, a relevant dish. I also received a recipe in the mail for a strange bun. Thanks, Shane. Pierre also seems to have noticed all of the sashimi I've been giving Sebastian, and he wants some too, so I'll bring him a plate when I get the chance. And I found a secret note with a little drawing of a bush near the beach bridge at nighttime around 12:40 a.m. Maybe I'll check that out tonight. It'll give me an excuse to try fishing at the beach again. Well, I tried fishing again at the beach and still no luck. So either it's not found at the beach, not found in this season, or I'm just incredibly unlucky. Anyways, I want to go check that bush out from the secret note. What? That was their makeout bush. Shut up. They are so bad at hiding their relationship. Honestly, that was the last thing I expected, but it was so incredibly funny. This thing they got going on, might as well air it out into the open because everyone knows. And I know. And there is only so much hush money and hush hay I can receive before I start spreading rumors. What a funny way to end the night. And I didn't make it home in time because of my snooping, but honestly, it was worth it. My first bunch of strawberries were ready to harvest, and I think I'm going to head into the mines for just a bit to grab some more ores. I'm just gonna grab a bit of gold ore and look for some more artifacts in the mines, and maybe we'll try the skull caverns tomorrow. I'll give it a shot. I also found another secret note while mining. This one, a secret code in front of Sam's house, I think. Maybe we should go try it out? I thought it was like a code, but it doesn't seem that way. Well, I'll try again some other time. And I made up my mind. Tomorrow, I'm gonna try advancing in the skull caverns. I feel as if I've done nothing new and I need to do something different. So hopefully I don't die. I got a letter in the mail from the mayor reminding me about the flower dance tomorrow. Ah yes, I remember being rejected at that event last year, but now I have prospects, so that should be fun. All right, now that it's 10, it's off to the skull caverns. And right away, I can tell I just take damage so much faster. Maybe it's because I suck at combat, or maybe I'm underleveled when it comes to armor and equipment, but I'm glad I brought plenty of food with me. I received some spicy eel dishes after destroying those flying dragon monsters on level 4, and after temporarily disabling the mummies, there was a hole in the ground and it asked me if I wanted to jump down. I did, and it took a bunch of my health, so maybe not the smartest idea. I did end up on level 13 though, but was also immediately attacked. Honestly, the second I jumped down that hole, I was attacked from every angle and I was overwhelmed and overcome with anxiety. I thought I was done for. Honestly, I'm not prepared enough to be in this freaking cavern. I made it to level 17 and left because it was getting late, but my spot in the cavern doesn't save. That's disappointing. What exactly did I gain by going into these caves besides an excruciating amount of pain and probably some broken legs? I didn't even find any new resources. I was hoping to find iridium ore down here, but nope, nada. Well, it seems like the caves are not at the top of my priority list this playthrough. Well, in better news, today is the Flower Festival. I'm excited to see if there is any new dialogue at this festival as well. First off, the shop. And I know for a fact I don't have this rare crow, and because I don't have it, I want it. With this rare crow, I'll now have 5 of the 8 needed. I also bought a crafting recipe and a few decorative pieces because why not? My house and farm looks so plain and I'd like to give it some personality soon. And after talking with everyone, it does seem like the dialogue is a bit different, which is fun. Honestly, I can't remember much, but it seems different, so it must be. And I understand being depressed about being alone, but come on, Clint. Why do you gotta dampen my mood every time I speak with you, dude? Hey, remember when I found you guys in the bushes the other night? No comment. Okay, I spoke with everyone. Now then, who do I ask? I'm leaning towards Sebastian or Shane, and while I have more hearts with Shane, I think I want to ask Sebastian because I kind of vibe with him a bit more. I still have a bunch of heart events to view for everyone, but Sebi, you've been chosen. And hey, no struggles, no fuss. Heck yeah. Love to see it, Sebastian. Well, you guys, I wasn't rejected like last year, so to me, this festival has been a hit. Okay, let's start the dance, and I get to join this year. Wait, why don't I get a dress like everyone else? Also, I look so out of place. And I'm wearing this stupid outfit still. I don't know the moves at all. Why is this sort of embarrassing? I definitely didn't win Flower Queen this year, that's for sure. Well, that was still cute. And I got to dance with someone, albeit rather awkwardly. Today is going to be another slow day where I just do a bunch of random stuff on the farm. But first I want to run into town to head to the blacksmith's to open some geodes and retrieve my golden trash can. When arriving in town, I ran into another heart scene. I'm not sure whose it is honestly, but Shane was filming Emily and Clint for something, maybe a short film. Emily had some lines that seemed like your typical breakup lines, and Clint, who has a crush on Emily, doesn't seem to be able to act it out because he gets nervous in front of her. He kind of admitted to the fact that she makes him nervous, but everyone just ignored that, I guess. Then Shane noticed me just standing in the way, barging into everyone's business, and considering the fact that he was directing, filming, and told me to check out his new camera, I think this is another one of Shane's heart events. We are knocking it out of the park with Shane this time around. Joja Corp was having an ad competition with prize money as a reward for the winner, and he asked me to be in his video as a background actor. That's pretty simple. And it seems on the second take, Clint was able to get his lines right, and oh my god, he looks so out of place with that smile holding the cola. Now that I'm watching more of this, Clint seems to be pretty good at this commercial advertising gig. He's a natural. Then he freaked out at the end. Okay, I got my golden trash can back and opened up my geodes, receiving an opal, which I've yet to donate to the museum, so I went ahead and did that. I then spent quite some time, once again, trying to organize all of my stuff because I'm a hoarder, and I have too much, and I don't know where to put it all. I got a little rainbow colored system of chests going for all my food items, some green chests for flowers, and some blue chests for fish. I'm trying my best to get organized. Alright, I know there is a bunch of stuff I need to do, but I need to focus on one thing at a time or else I'm going to lose my mind. So I kind of want to focus on my animals and my farm a bit more. I want to get some sheep in my barn so I can craft some new clothing so I don't look like an Amish girl anymore. No offense, just not my style. Plus, more animals means more resources, which means more money. So I think I have enough for a sheep, and I am thinking about selling a cow or two so I have 3 of each animal in the barn. It kills me to say that, but I need to have an equal number. I have issues, okay? I sold 2 cows, so now I have room for another pig and 3 sheep. I decided to purchase the sheep first. I named them Marshmallow, Snowball, and Cotton Ball. I didn't have enough for another pig, so I'll do that once I have the money. Yes, this seems extremely useful. I'll take that. And would you look at that? Yet another hard event for Shane. My goodness, Shane, you're hogging all of the cutscenes. We find him on the edge of the cliff surrounded by a bunch of open cans of beer, and he calls out to us and says he's sorry. He starts mumbling about how his life is a joke and how he's ashamed of himself for the state he's in. And then he starts to cry. Aw, poor Shane. Addictions can be very hard to break, and you never know what someone's been through, so sometimes showing sympathy can be helpful. And then he veered the conversation into a much darker place and went on to say he drinks to forget about how much he hates himself and his mundane life he's currently stuck in. I then had the opportunity to answer his question, and if we're being real, no one wants to hear the first response. That's a very vanilla response. I feel as if the second response is quite personal and fits well with Shane's character, as we see he does really care about Jas. He asked if I could help him get to a clinic, which was quite responsible of him. I really hope Shane's story has a happy outcome. I feel really bad for him, and he's been a lot nicer to me since we started becoming friends. Harvey helped out Shane and stated that he's worried about his mental health. Yeah, no kidding. He suggested a counselor in Zuzu City for Shane to talk to in hopes that it would help him deal with his struggles. Well, dang, that was depressing. And on a rainy day, too. Okay, well, I went from purchasing some cute sheep to watching a man drown in his sorrows. Marnie sent me some more hay in the mail. She's been extra nice to me lately. I went into town to give Pierre the sashimi he asked for, and I ran into yet another heart event. There was a line at Pierre's shop, and he was trying to sell the veggies I shipped to him to Gus, but at a premium price. Basically, he was ripping him off. Pierre, I had you pegged entirely wrong when I first met you. You're a bit messed up, my dude. Gus was upset, as was Jody, and they went to confront Pierre about it, who then tried to bargain with them. Too late. They see through you, Pierre. And I told him to stop being so greedy, and he didn't like that response. Oh well, how about you don't be a jerk and maybe you'll actually make a profit, Pierre? He then saw things my way because obviously I'm right and he's wrong, but he then tried to sell the veggies back to me. Not a chance. I don't even think you deserve this sashimi. I usually keep it on hand exclusively for Sebastian. Ugh, as long as you pay me for it. It was also his birthday, so I gave him a second plate. You're welcome. I found Sebastian outside and gave him some sashimi as well. I didn't mind giving it to him, and I had 2 prize tickets in my inventory, so I went inside the mayor's home to use them, and I received an orange sapling and some mixed flower seeds. Since it was raining and I was nearby, I decided to try my luck at fishing at the beach again to see if I could catch anything new. No freaking way. I found the eel. Was it a nighttime rain exclusive fish or something? Well, I'm pumped. How incredibly lucky was that? And just as I was about to leave, there was an eel frenzy at the beach, because of course there was. And I managed to catch 15 more eels. I stopped by the community center to donate the eel, completing the night fishing bundle, and I received a glow ring as a reward. That leaves only 1 fish left, the sturgeon, which we can find in the lakes around the valley. I wasn't lucky finding one during spring, so maybe in the summer or fall I'll be able to find it. That would be ever so lovely. At the end of the evening, I leveled up my fishing skill to 9 as well. The next morning, Shane appeared at my front door and apologized for his behavior yesterday. I'm sure it was hard for him to apologize, but he did it with a smile. I really love that. I told him I was glad I could help him out, and he mentioned that he was up for the idea of seeing a therapist. That's a very mature decision, and a wise decision. He said he's going to start taking things more seriously from here on out. Good for you, Shane. Aw, I'm so proud of him. He did seem a little sad at the end though, calling himself a burden. I feel confident in your self-healing journey though, Shane. And unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to finish the green beans request, even though I was so close. There is only 1 day left, and I think it takes 3 days for green beans to produce again. What a disappointment. Sure, Pierre. Hey, I'll take any and all recipes, no matter who they're from. My first batch of fruit from my fruit trees were ready to harvest as well, which reminds me, I still need to buy the fall trees so I can plant them next season. And for today, I decided to gather wood. I used all mine to craft chests, so that's today's boring activity. And at the end of the night, I leveled up my mining skill to 9. Today is the last day of spring, and I really want to continue setting up my farm for success for the new season. I learned another new recipe on the TV, Lucky Lunch, and crafted a few grass starters, placing a few in the coop, a few in the barn, and scattered the rest around the farm so I can get a boost in grass production come tomorrow. I have also learned my lesson when it comes to stocking up on hay. I will try not to make that mistake again. From there, I just destroyed the last few crops I had on my farm as they are basically useless now, and mapped out a sprinkler setup for the next season's crops. I am making it a goal to only buy enough seeds that the sprinklers I currently own can handle. No manual watering next season. I also want to look into crafting more wine barrels and other artisan machines to increase my profit margins with all the extra crops I have left over from this season. I'm just not sure which ones will create the better results. I leveled up my foraging to level 9 at the end of the day as I found a foraging skill book and read it in between farm chores. I'm so excited for summer again. I love the music during this season. Alright, we have a bunch of work to do and a bunch of seeds to buy, so that's the first thing I want to do today. I'm probably going to do 2 rounds of seeds again like I did last season, but I mainly want to focus on planting a bunch of seeds that will continue to produce fruit after they mature. I had the internet all up in a tizzy because of you. If I ever play this game again from the beginning, now I know. Grab the red cabbage seed. I bought a bunch of seeds, basically everything except flower seeds, and I also purchased an apple tree, leaving just the pomegranate tree, which I'll grab soon. Look at me, planning for future seasons. Who am I? I worked all through the night tilling soil and planting seeds, and I didn't even finish. That's expected from me though. The next morning, I received a letter from Pam, and she gave me a battery pack. Well, okay. Thanks, Pam. I also got a letter from Shane where he sent me a pizza, and why was the letter just so cute? He just wanted to talk to me. I've done a 360 when it comes to Shane. He is truly a kind dude. I'm glad we're becoming friends. Also, I got my first batch of truffles from my pigs. Heck yeah, piggies! Thank you! I now have the truffle needed for the community center, and soon I'll have the red cabbage needed as well. I've started having some layout complications on my farm, which resulted me in crafting 6 additional sprinklers. I need them, okay? And I was so hyper-focused on creating a functional layout that I lost track of time and passed out. Not a great start to the season. The next morning, I was finally able to shear my sheep for the first time, receiving my first set of wool. Heck yeah! Soon, I'll be able to make some new clothing and look a bit more put together. I finished planting my hop starters and scattered the rest of my sprinklers around, planting wheat in all the empty spots. Once the wheat finishes growing, I'll plant more melons and flowers there. I also planted my apple tree and plan to buy the last tree tomorrow, so I'll have every fruit tree planted on my farm. Finally, I stopped by the community center and donated a truffle to the chef's bundle, completing it and earned an adorable pink cake as a reward. I then foraged a few flowers around the area and handed them out as gifts to those who were nearby. And as I went to go say hi to my bestie, I ran into a heart event with Sebastian. Finally, a heart event that's not Shane's. No offense, Shane. Sebastian was working on his motorcycle in the garage and started telling me that he likes to take long rides out of the valley after sundown and was expressing how much he truly enjoys the journey towards the city. He seems to want to leave the valley and move to the city, so I assume valley life isn't exactly his style. That or perhaps he isn't happy in his current situation with his family setup. He then offered to take me out for a ride on his motorcycle. Yeah, of course I'll hop on that bike with you. Motorcycles do scare me, but I'm not gonna tell him that. Not after he just opened up to me. I'm not stupid. Alright, we're getting somewhere with Sebastian's story. Now, accept this sashimi, sir. I need to see the rest of your heart events. I also quickly stopped by to see my bestie, and while I was in the area, I decided to fish in the lake, as we still have one more lake fish to find. Will it be here? I don't know, but I need to try every lake during every season to have a better chance of finding it. And after a few hours of fishing, I was unsuccessful. I'll still keep trying though. Well, today I want to make a few looms if possible, so I can begin crafting cloth to both sell and create clothing with. It seems I need more fiber to craft the looms, as I used a bunch of fiber for grass starters a few days ago, so I'm gonna go ahead and collect some fiber around the valley today. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there is that much fiber to collect, but I did finally buy a pomegranate sapling, so I'll plant that later on. And since it was raining and I was near the lake, I figured I'd try fishing again. My thought process was that this last fish could be a weather-specific fish, and after a few hours, I was actually able to catch one. It was a pretty hard fish to catch, but I was so freaking happy to catch this dude, as that's the last fish I needed for the community center. So I immediately made my way over there to donate the sturgeon, completing the fish tank area of the community center, which will remove the glittering boulder by the mines. All that's left to donate to the community center is produce, so I actually think I'll be able to complete this gola mine. I didn't think I was going to with how slow I play. I went home, planted the pomegranate tree, crafted a single loom as that's all I was able to craft, placed some wool inside, and ended the day watching the Junimos do their cute little dance in front of the shiny boulder. I spent the morning doing a bunch of random chores on the farm and then made my way to the mines to check out the newly renovated boulder. When I made my way over there, Willie was checking out the area and was confused as to why the boulder was gone. That's none of your business, Willie. We then saw something glittering underneath us, which turned out to be ore, and now I guess I can pan for ore in the rivers. Perhaps it'll turn up some new items, maybe even items I can donate to the museum, as I know I still have a bunch left to find. And it's kind of funny. I totally look like I belong from the Gold Rush era with my current attire. I found a pan spot nearby and obtained some gold ore. Sweet. And I decided to go mine in the quarry nearby, as I haven't been there in quite some time and there were a variety of ore rocks waiting to be smashed, so why not? I was there the rest of the evening clearing out all the rocks and trees, and I grabbed a decent amount of resources and materials, which is awesome. I even found a denim shirt in a tree. Looks a bit better than the current shirt I was wearing. My first round of hot peppers were ready to harvest the next morning. Shane is going to be so excited. My first batch of wheat was ready to harvest as well, and now that I have 3 pieces of cloth, I want to go visit Emily and see if I'm able to craft any new clothing. Near Emily's house, I saw Shane walking by, and he mentioned easing up on the drinking, which was great. I love how his dialogue is dynamic and he speaks about things more relevant to his heart events. And I had some hot peppers on me, so I decided to hand him one as well, you know, to make his day and say, "Good job, Shane." And look at that, my first 8 hearts. We've come a long way, Shane. When entering Emily's house, I ran into her next heart event as well. She invited me into her room and wanted to show me her secret hobby, and she said to relax and I'd be carried away to a better place. A bit ominous. That could mean a whole bunch of things. But she just started dancing with the bird. It was kind of cute. She looked like she was having fun and the bird was grooving to the music. Emily is such a cutie patootie. And look at the screen. It's glowing, covered in rainbows, and even aliens showed up. Adorable. She really put her soul into that performance. I then made my way to the sewing machine and I have no idea how to use it. But I suppose it's random depending on the item I put in the spool. That's a bit exciting, I suppose. So I put a sweet pea flower at the top and I received a pink and blue shirt. I made a few more pieces, getting a green shirt and some red shorts. I guess I'll have to experiment with the sewing machine until I find something I truly like. I put the red shorts on, but they looked a bit funny with the boots I'm wearing, so back goes the skirt. I found Maru and gave her a hot pepper, along with Linus, and gave Robin a present too. I also decided to go say hi to the wizard because I barely talk to this dude anymore, which is a shame. He's pretty cool. I gathered some hardwood from the secret forest, planted a few more wheat and sunflower seeds, and ended the day. Well, I said I wanted fiber. I guess I got my wish. I did get a notification that my apple tree wasn't able to grow last night. That concerns me because if this stupid rain ruined my apple tree, I'm going to rage. The green rain really makes the animals' homes look creepy. I feel like I'm in a Resident Evil game. Also, I'm legit confused. Did the green rain alter what types of trees I had on my farm? Because the trees with the tappers look different now. Please, game, don't make me chop down this tree now because it's useless. And yeah, basically all I did today was collect resources. Seemed like the perfect day to do so, and I needed the fiber, so it was a win-win. Last night I found 6 secret notes while I was foraging for fiber. That's insane. So let's see what secrets they hide. First note contained food items that Leia loves to eat. The second note was written by Penny and contained a bunch of food items that people close to her love to eat. And I love how she said no beer next to her mom's name. I understand, Penny. I understand. The next secret note was from this key guy again, who gave me a quest for the Skull Caverns. He asked if I found his secret in a dark tunnel. Not sure if I trust you at all, Mr. Key. Note number 4 was from my dead grandpa. Seriously, who was my grandpa? He gives me this farm, leaves me notes saying he's going to haunt me, hides notes in the valley amongst the green rain phenomenon saying he's hidden another secret in an unknown location. He must have been quite bored living here. Note 5 was quite vague. Something is hidden behind the community center. All right. And for our last note, a page out of someone's diary talking about all the single bachelors in the valley and what foods they like. We only see them talk about Harvey, Elliot, and Shane. Maybe this is from Haley's diary? I can see her making a pros and cons list of all the men here. Next, I received a letter from Pierre saying that he's noticed I've been getting close with a few people in town, and I can purchase some flower bouquets to hand out to anyone I'm romantically interested in. Must have been because I earned 8 hearts with Shane. Interesting. I was wondering what the dating mechanic would be like. Also, Pierre, maybe send this letter to the mayor and Marnie. They could use this advice just as much as I can. I crafted 2 more looms and placed them in my barn and harvested my first batch of the infamous red cabbages. Finally, I have acquired one. So I made my way to the community center to donate the cabbage, completing the dye bundle, earning me a seed maker. All that's left for the bulletin board is a few apples, and we'll have completed this section of the community center as well. And while gathering materials near the bathhouse, I found yet another secret note. This note was a page from a book about Junimos, talking about how they take over abandoned places and how they like gemstones and raisins. Okay, today I want to visit the Calico Desert to see if the store that's located there is selling any original seeds. I want to upgrade my coop and craft a few more clothes as well. First stop, the desert, where I was able to buy starfruit seeds, but they were pretty expensive, so I only bought 10. Next, I went to purchase a coop upgrade, but Robin's not working today, so we'll skip that. Instead, I bought a few more melon seeds and some flower seeds from Pierre's. Made my way to Emily's house and made 6 random pieces of clothing again. I wish we could see a list of what's available to craft and choose that way instead of it being random, but I'll find something I like to wear soon enough. Tomorrow is the Pelican Town luau again, and I need to bring something for the potluck. I can't remember what the response to my ingredient was last year, but I have a bunch of higher quality items this year I can contribute, so I'll think of something. Okay, first things first, I want to upgrade my coop, so off to Robin's house we go, and as I went inside, can you guess? Another heart event. This one I'm assuming is for Maru. Maru and her father were testing soil samples, which I thought was truly exciting. I decided to help out anyways, and while Maru left to go grab something, Demetrius thanked me for helping and started doting on his daughter, and then it got uncomfortably quiet, and his face, it seemed as if he was sending me a warning? Why? What on earth did I do? What the hell was that about? Dude, Demetrius has a dark side. Legit makes me not want to talk to you or your daughter, bro. Okay, well, I'm going to sleep with one eye open tonight. I didn't even do anything and I'm being threatened. You were not, you liar. Oh my god. I actually don't know what to do. I'm kind of scared. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I want to survive the night. That was seriously the weirdest heart event so far. I am really starting to understand why Sebastian wants to haul tail out of here. Jesus, I can't get a break from this family. I just want to upgrade my coop. Well, time for another heart event, this time with Robin, who I still feel is rather normal compared to her husband. Please just stay normal, Robin. She said we've become really good friends, and she gave me a blueprint for a flute block and a drum block, which was really awesome. Thanks, girl, but seriously, go check up on your husband. I think he's secretly a serial offer, if you know what I mean. Finally, I'm able to upgrade my coop. I need to get out of this freaking house. When I got back to the farm, I decided to get a little crafty and I made 2 oil makers and 3 more kegs. It's a start. I really want to build a shed soon to put all this equipment inside, but I feel as if I need to start using all this equipment more often if I want to make more money, which I do. I threw a few truffles in the oil makers, a few peaches in the kegs, and a few oranges in the preserve jars, so hopefully it'll produce some profitable items I can sell. I took care of my animals and then headed down to the beach to start the luau. Hey, Maru. You seem like you're in a bad mood, so I'm just gonna leave you alone. As I do with every festival, I went around talking with the community to see what they had to say, and George was smiling and being sweet to his wife. How heartwarming. I found Sebastian at the end of the pier, and I can relate to him in this instance. While I like to go places and hang out with people, I always find the need to temporarily escape and hang out in my own peace and quiet. I appreciate that aspect about him. Okay, well, I forgot to bring a veggie, and all I have are animal products on me. I'm thinking of adding the goat's milk because it's iridium quality. It'll make the potluck creamy. Hopefully. All right, let's see if my potluck is passable this year. And it must have been amazing because I got an achievement. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He loved it so much he was spasming with excitement. Aw. Enjoy yourself, little governor. The next morning, I got a recipe for spaghetti from Lewis and a recipe for fish tacos from my bestie. I had a bunch of hops, sunflowers, tomatoes, and peppers to harvest from my garden the next morning, and decided to move my oil makers inside of the barn for the time being, as I can just throw the truffles inside in a faster fashion alongside the milk and wool. From there, I decided to cook a new dish called Lucky Lunch to bring with me to the mines tomorrow because, yes, I'm finally going to spend some time down there. I'd like to do something new, and looking for artifacts and gathering ore seems fun. Right as I woke up the next morning, I made my way to the mines and decided to start mining on the lower levels. Maybe I'll have a better chance of finding iridium ore in the lower levels as well. Immediately, I found some summer squash seeds, and I forgot, but are the mines the only place you can find squash seeds? I wish I would have remembered that sooner, although I still have some time to grow them. I traveled all the way to level 120, and even with the luck boost from eating the lucky lunch meal, I didn't find any iridium ore. Not that I was really expecting to. I did find an Omni Geode, 9 Magma Geodes, a mystery box, and 2 more secret notes. The first secret note led me to believe that in the future, I can feed Junimo's raisins, and they will see me as a beloved deity and do my bidding for me. The second secret note showed me a treasure spot on the map that I believe is in the Calico Desert, so I'll have to check that out next time I go. My first blueberries of the season were ready to harvest, and there were a bunch of them. I also had melons, sunflowers, and a ton of hops ready to harvest. Also, I know I need 5 gold quality melons for the community center, and I only have 4. I can't remember if I planted more melons or not, but I may pick up a few more in town just to be safe. I also want to swing by the blacksmiths and open up all of my geodes today, so let's go do that first. And to my amazement, I actually got quite a few things to donate to the museum, and I even received some iridium ore in one of the geodes. Hell yeah! The museum has been slow going this entire playthrough, mainly because I've been focused on farming and completing the community center, but I'm glad I've been able to contribute items here and there. Next item on today's docket is to buy more melon seeds. They take 12 days to mature, so I barely have enough time to plant them, but I just want to plant them to play it safe. Next, let's visit Marnie so I can buy one of those auto collectors. And would you have guessed? Shane heart event! Another heart event for Shane, you guys. Let's go. Marnie commented that Shane looked happy today and he smiled, saying he hasn't felt this good since he was little. That's awesome. I know I've said this before, but I am really enjoying his redemption story. And then Marnie had to be sarcastic and say that it must be because there was a sale on beer. You hurt his feelings. Shame on you. He said he's been drinking sparkling water instead and has been feeling really good, and that he has friends who care about him that have helped him along this journey. Oh my god, Shane. This man has come a long way. He then gave Jas some cute little bunny slippers as a present, and she gave him an adorable hug. I'm gonna throw up because of how wholesome this is. And right after that cutscene was over, we went right into the next one. Jas told me Shane was in the barn and wanted to show me something, so I headed on in and, what? What? Blue chickens? He's cuddling the chicken in his avatar. This is too precious, you guys. He looks so happy. Shane's healing journey has been so fantastic, and that's what scares me a bit. Shane then showed me his cool blue hens, which are absolutely adorable, and I just want to cuddle them to pieces. He said he wanted to pass these blue hens onto Jas in order to feel like he made a difference in the world, even in a small way. Ugh, Shane, why did you make me like you so much, you freaking idiot? Okay, well, now that the heart events have stopped for the moment, let's buy the auto collector. I'm only able to buy one for the time being because they are so expensive, but this will definitely help me out. I decided to place it in the barn, planted the melon seeds I bought, and ended the day. The next morning, Kent asked me for a star fruit for Jody. Lucky you, Kent. I happen to be growing some on my farm. Do I want to give him one of my precious star fruits? No. Will I though? Yeah, I suppose so. Speaking of quests, I have a bunch piling up that I can technically complete, so I may do a few of those today as well. And honestly, I just kind of want to find clothes that fit my personality a bit more. No offense to anyone who finds this outfit cute, it's just not speaking to me personally. The shoes aren't either, so I'll need to look into changing my shoes as well. I had a bunch of hops, corn, and peppers to harvest the next morning, so I quickly did that, and then just grabbed a bunch of random stuff from my farm to try and make some new clothing at Emily's house. I'll find something I like. Just you wait. I crafted a good amount of clothing, which I'll try on in a second, but also, I found out I can dye each article of clothing to change their color. That's an awesome feature. So I'll experiment with that as well because I'm still not satisfied with my new clothes. I went inside Evelyn's house to fulfill a request for her and entered one of her cutscenes. How adorable. Miss Granny was baking some cookies and she offered one to me, and I told her it was delicious because she's such a sweetie pie. And she gave me her cookie recipe, which was awesome. I then gave her the leek she requested ages ago and went looking for Demetrius to give him his requested item and entered another heart event with Sebastian. He was in his room playing a card game with Sam, which seemed a bit in line with Dungeons and Dragons, as you are given a scenario and go from there. I got to choose my character and I decided to go with the wizard option as that seemed the most exciting of the three. Seems like I picked the right choice as that was Sebastian's pick as well. Sucks to suck. You should have picked your character first before me, Sebi. And then we started our campaign where we were on a mission to recover the Solaria staff, which is located in the Necromancer's Tower. For my first option, I decided to stay hidden like a ninja, although I'm a wizard and not a ninja. We found a trapdoor which we used, and it led us to a sewer-like corridor with 2 rooms to choose from, and I decided to climb the stairs on the right. From there, we found a door at the end of the hallway where it was time to face the villain. Dreadlord Zarth started casting a spell, and so I matched his energy with my own spell. I went with the shield charm option to protect my teammates, and the spell he cast reflected back and hit him right in his stupid face. Basically, I ended this wizard's existence all in a day's work, boys. I only got a C rating, whatever that means, which honestly was a smack in the face considering I did everything in this game. What did you two do exactly? Well, that was fun, and then he kicked me out. I then found Demetrius, gave him the melon he requested, and promptly ended our transaction there. He scares me now. The next day, I decided to go and visit the cute little mouse that sells hats because fashion has been on my mind lately. I bought a cute little daisy and a butterfly bow for my hair, said hi to the wizard while I was in the area, and decided to do a bit of fishing today as I'm still missing quite a lot of fish in the game. I went to the beach first as I don't go there as often as I'd like to, and I caught a new fish, a pufferfish, which I actually need for a request, so that's awesome. I then made my way to the river to start fishing, but was unlucky and caught nothing new. I also decided to make a new gadget, a slime egg press, for 2 reasons. 1, because I have yet to make it, and 2, I may have looked up a few cute outfit combos on Google, and there are some pants you can make with a slime egg that I may want to wear. I promise I wasn't cheating. I was just looking up cute outfits and what to use to make them, and that's all. Because I don't want to waste any more cloth and I just want to look cute. And I want to get rid of these shoes, and I found out I can transfer the stats of one pair of shoes to another pair because I hate how they look. Is that so much to ask for? So I'm going to start making a slime egg and we'll try dyeing and creating some more clothes in the next few days. The next morning, I received a recipe for a red plate dish from Emily and I learned how to make chocolate cake on the TV. I then made my way to the Adventurers Guild to buy some new shoes because I can't deal with the space boots anymore. They are not cutesy. While I was waiting for them to open, I headed to the quarry to pass the time and I found rocks I've never seen before. Oh my god, iridium ore! What, did I just get insanely lucky or something? So that was definitely a fun surprise. And there was another rock right next to it. I need to check this place more often, and I keep forgetting about all the monster goals to achieve down in the mines. There's just so many things to do in this game and so many things I haven't done that I tend to forget. Or I honestly just feel overwhelmed and I'm so focused on getting my farm set up efficiently and trying to find clothes lately that I just keep forgetting about everything else. I'll try to find a balance though. I apologize for being so focused on one thing lately. I bought a few pairs of boots to try on because I'm indecisive. Did another outfit change that I'm a bit more satisfied with for now. And from there, I decided to go through all of the secret notes I found and write down all the villagers' loved items. I want to try handing out different items, and if I can give each person an item they truly like, it'll increase our friendship a whole lot faster. During my morning harvest, I had a few more melons which were done growing, both of which were gold star quality, which means we have enough gold melons for the quality crops bundle at the community center. My hops finally finished doing their thing in the aging barrels as well, providing me with pale ale, which was a requested item from Pam a long time ago, so I can finally complete that request today too. So let's go be social, hand out some beloved gifts, and complete some requests. First, I gave Pam her pale ale she requested, and I think she quite enjoyed it. I also gave her a loved gift from the secret notes, a parsnip. We're doing pretty good when it comes to making Pam happy today. Next, I gave Sam a cola because I had no new information about what he likes. I gave Vincent grapes, a fruit he actually enjoys, and Kent came waddling in, so I gave him a hot pepper, which he seemed to fancy. I then bought a bit of sugar at the store so I could cook another dish later on, and when I left, I ran into Sam's next heart event. He was skateboarding near his house and Lewis got mad at him for skating on Emily and Haley's planner. Everyone's always yelling at Sam, bro. They need to tone it down a notch. First his mom over some eggs, now the mayor. Chill, guys. And of course, Lewis had to be all dramatic about the youth these days. Such a drama queen. And then he asked me for my opinion. Well, if someone was skating on my planner, I'd be annoyed. But it's not my planner, and it wasn't that big of a deal. He apologized. Plus, Lewis has been sneaking around making me do his dirty work, bribing me with hush money to keep quiet about him and Marnie. So for this instance, I'm siding with Sam. Lewis seemed annoyed at me, but I'm annoyed at him and that stupid, angry old person's face he's making. Not very mature of you, Lewis. Lewis apologized and asked Sam to not damage anything with his skating, which is a fair request, I think. Sam didn't seem to care much once the mayor left though. Alright, let's continue gift giving. I have 8 people with 6 hearts. I just need 2 more to reach my goal for these 100 days. I think I could do it. I found Harvey in his clinic and gave him some coffee, and I have never really been inside the clinic and had no idea Maru worked there. I gave Granny one of her favorite flowers, a tulip, and I cooked some fish tacos for Caroline. I gave Demetrius the puffer fish for his request and tried not to look into his cold, dead eyes in the process. And while I was nearby, I dropped off the 5 gold star melons to the quality crops bundle, unlocking a preserves jar and completing this set, which seems to unlock the greenhouse. I've been looking forward to unlocking the greenhouse, so that's wonderful. And look at how cute this area is, you guys. The little community kitchen. Oh, it's so adorable. We are so close to completing everything. All that's left is 3 apples, and I'll be able to do that next season with my apple tree. I found Shane and gave him some pepper poppers I cooked the other day. Look at that smile. I gave George a leek and gave an amethyst to Abigail. It makes sense she'd love purple stones. Haley gets a sunflower, like always, and I found Leia and gave her a truffle, which she loved. I don't talk to Leia that much, but she seems pretty chill. And with all of my gift giving today, it seems I've reached my goal of 10 villagers with 6 hearts. I've been enjoying talking with the town, and I plan to do a bit more of that this time around. And who knows, I'm sure I'll run into another heart event or two. The next day, I received a recipe for pumpkin soup from Robin, and I went to go check out my new greenhouse. It's pretty cute. I'm definitely going to have to figure out what crops have the highest return so I can plant a bunch. But also, I have a few coffee seeds I didn't plant during the spring that I could take advantage of and plant in here. This opens up so many opportunities. I then decided to go back to the Calico Desert to buy some cactus seeds, which can only be grown indoors, so that's perfect for the greenhouse. I also bought a few more skirts so I can experiment with dyeing them at Emily's house, and went to look for the treasure that was shown on the secret note I found a while back. I found the area and began digging and found a strange doll. I'm assuming this is the treasure. It's an artifact that I don't have, so that was actually pretty useful. From there, I stopped by the museum and dropped off the doll I found in the desert and ran to Emily's to once again create some fashionable pieces. I'm having fun with it, and it took me a minute to figure out how to use the dye pots. I guess I have to put an item in each pot representing all the colors instead of the one I want. But I went ahead and experimented a bit with some of the pieces and started to find some cute combos. Even the farmer's outfit I had on previously with the baggy pants is rather adorable. Once I was satisfied with an outfit for the time being, I transferred the stats from my space boots to a pair of black boots, and look at that. Finally, I am satisfied with my outfit. I have a bunch of cute skirts and the cute baggy pants that I want to switch out to every now and then once I find more shirts to go with them. Maybe I'll do seasonal outfits once I have enough clothing options, but that was fun. The next day, I got a notification that there was a strong windstorm during the night. Great. Please don't affect my fruit trees. I'll cry. I was notified that the annual trout derby was going on. I didn't even know that was happening. I'm very bad at checking my calendar if you haven't noticed. And I found out that the giant old tree in the woods fell down during the storm and it could be fixed with 100 pieces of hardwood. Fixed in what way? Maybe we could build a treehouse of sorts? That would be cool. Well, for now, I decided to participate in the fishing event as it would be nice to do something new, and I would like to fish a bit more. Plus, I don't think I won that many prizes last time. I also got a notification about a Dorado fish frenzy happening in the Cindersap Forest. I have no idea where the Cindersap Forest is. Is the place I'm currently at the Cindersap Forest? Because it doesn't label it as such on the map from what I can tell. Anyways, I caught a few of the Dorado fish for the first time, which was nice, and then went back to catching trout next to these two cutie patooties. On my first day, I caught 2 golden tags, and I received 3 Omni Geodes and a bucket hat as a reward. That was fun, and I don't know if I'll fish again tomorrow, but I'm sure all the fish I caught helped my fishing experience a bit. And I caught a new fish, which I love. I then went to the secret forest to gather some hardwood for the tree quest and ended the day. Early next morning, I learned how to make pink cake on TV. I'm learning so many new recipes, so I'll need to start cooking a few more soon. Also, Mayor Lewis had a request that he needed truffle oil and not to ask him why. That's not how you should be talking to someone who's keeping your secrets. Sounds suspicious. I had a bunch of stuff to harvest the next morning, so I quickly did that and then made my way to Marty's ranch because I still don't own rabbits. And one of my goals is to own every animal, so here we are. I bought 3 rabbits and named them Thumper, Oswald, and Judy Hops. Sense a theme here. From there, I stopped by Clint's and had him open up all my geodes and a mystery box, and I received 2 new items I was able to donate to the museum, and tracked down the mayor to give him the truffle oil he so bluntly requested. Very slick. What is this man planning on doing with the oil I gave him? Well, the mayor is doing a very good job at creeping me out lately. Alright, moving on. I finished the day by collecting all of my artisan goods, and I think tomorrow I'm going to have a mining day, focused on collecting more ores and geodes for museum donations. I think that would be a smart idea. Well, Gunther must have read my mind about finding more items for the museum, because he showed up at my front door the next day. He came by to thank me for all of my donations thus far. I wish I was able to talk with you more, but you are locked behind that desk. It's not your fault, though. The Stardew Valley Museum is being awarded the Golden Shovel Award because of all the contributions I've contributed. Me. It's all because of me. Gunther knows what's up. Oh, I remember the kids talked about a key for the sewer and that Gunther had it. Yes, another area unlocked. I unlocked the Calico Desert, the greenhouse, and now the sewers. And here I thought I was just glued to my farm this entire playthrough, but hey, I'm getting stuff done. Well, I'll check that out tomorrow because I've already committed to mining today. So I cooked up a bit of food and headed to the mines. I wasn't really sure where to start, honestly, so I started on level 90. I kind of need a bit of everything, so I'll be making a few trips here over the next few days. During my descent, I found 36 gold ore, 3 magma geodes, a bunch of monster resources, and a mystery box. Not my best haul, but also not bad. The next morning, I woke up to Evelyn at my front door. Aw. Hi, Granny. She said my farm looked really nice, and I believe those words if they're coming out of this sweet lady's mouth. And she brought me a little present, a garden pot, where I'll be able to grow any crop inside my home no matter the season. That's really handy. I had a bunch of crops to harvest once again, including my starfruit plants, so I quickly gathered everything up and headed back to the mines, this time focusing on collecting iron ore. While I was mining, I found 2 more secret notes. The first one was from Haley and Emily's parents, who listed some of their favorite items. Good to know. And the second secret note was, yet again, one of those weird arrow puzzles that I wasn't able to solve the first time. So I'm ignoring this for now. At the end of the night, I leveled up my combat to level 8 and can now craft a slime incubator. So I can grow slimes, I take it. I checked the TV the next morning, learned how to make artichoke dip, and decided to check my luck, and it was not very good, which means I'll put off mining until tomorrow, unless it's also another unlucky day. I go 2 days without fixing the fencing post, and here we are. Which cow is it? Of course it's Melissa. I have no idea how to get her back in, but I don't want the others escaping, so I guess she's going to free roam around the farm today. Alright, next order of business. I want to purchase an auto grabber for the coop. All of my money is going towards my animals lately, but once they are settled, I can focus on other stuff. I also decided to buy another duck, and I named her Bubbles. Sure, business needs. I then decided to plant my cactus seeds inside of the greenhouse so I can get a bit of use out of the building. From there, I made my way to the sewer to finally check it out since I received the key from Gunther, and inside I found the Statue of Uncertainty where I can change my skill professions for 10,000 coins. Interesting. And I also found the little black blob dude who was hiding behind a bush last playthrough, whose name is Krobus. Aww. He looks so cute and scared. He seems to be a merchant here in the sewer that sells rare and exotic goods, and there's quite a few items I'm interested in, but they're all expensive, of course. I'll keep your shop in mind, Krobus. I found a shortcut to the sewers from town and just about had a heart attack from the sound the game made when I tried to go through this black corridor. It's inaccessible for the time being. And this little platform looked like an area I could fish from, so I tried to fish for a bit, and I caught a legendary fish called a mutant carp. What? There are legendary fish in this game? Well, the TV fortune teller was wrong, it seems. That was a pretty lucky catch. It seems like today is also not a lucky day, so mining will have to wait. I decided to buy one more pig today as well, and I named him Pork Chop. Now I have 3 of each animal in my barn. Next, I went to the blacksmith to open up all my geodes from my previous mining ventures, and I found 3 new items to donate to the museum, so I went ahead and did that. I also found a book of mysteries inside of the mystery box, which will grant me a better chance of finding more mystery boxes. I'll take it. I also stopped at the community requests board, and there was a request from Linus to fish some trash out of the water. Linus is always thinking of bettering everyone and everything around him, and that's why he's my bestie. When I made my way to the beach, I ran into a heart event of Haley's, and she was pacing around the beach. She was freaking out because she lost her bracelet, and I felt like the second response was more appropriate, but sometimes it's hard to tell with Haley. Hopefully she won't freak out on me. And she was pretty level-headed about it, and we find out that it was a sentimental piece of jewelry from her great-grandma. Aw, that makes it even more devastating. I was then prompted to go look for the bracelet, and I found it behind Elliot's home, and Haley was extremely thrilled to have her bracelet back. It was pretty cute. She actually gave me a hug and was kind. I have a feeling that Haley is going to have a character redemption story like Shane did. That was a really nice heart event coming from Haley. Hopefully her rudeness will die down like Shane's did. Then I might actually enjoy talking to her. For the rest of the evening, I went back to the farm and started fishing up trash for the community cleanup quest, and I actually managed to fish up 20 pieces. But I was bummed to see that I needed to place the trash in a particular bin instead of turning them into materials I could use. But I'll drop them off tomorrow. The next morning, I got a neutral luck reading. That's good enough for me. I then made my way to the train station to dump the trash I fished up, completing the community cleanup quest. And then from there, I went mining, and right away, I landed on a special level in the mines with a bunch of those flying skulls. I received a shirt from defeating one of them, and a new item I've never seen. An artifact trove which contains ancient relics. Hopefully something cool is hidden inside. But yeah, I basically just mined for iron ore the rest of the day, grabbing a good amount and around 10 frozen geodes. The fortune teller gave me wonderful luck today, so yes, I'm going back to the mines. I think this will be my last mining day for a little while, until I go back to the skull caverns, which I desperately need to do. The next morning, Linus said thank you for cleaning up the valley and gave me a recipe for fiber seeds. This man is a blessing to this valley. On my way to the mines, I ran into a cutscene with Linus, and he was taking a nudie dip in the river, but he looked like he was enjoying himself. I think this little cutscene happened because I fished trash out of the river, which is really cool. Just a tiny, wholesome scene with Linus being happy, and that makes me happy. I decided to mine on the copper ore levels today, as I rarely go to these levels anymore, so it was a nice change of pace. It was also really nice that most of the monsters were defeated with one swing of my sword, unlike my first visit to these caves. And because I was having such a great time finding geodes, I made my way to level 110 for the remainder of the evening in hopes that I may get lucky and find some iridium ore down here, or at least a good amount of magma geodes. I was only able to find one, but I also found a bunch of gold ore, 3 omni geodes, 3 mystery boxes, and a mining monthly skill book. Today is the last day of summer, and I have a bunch of random chores to do for the start of the fall season. Also, tonight is the cute little Moonlight Jelly Festival, so I'll be sure to check it out because it was absolutely adorable last year. I also received some wool for my rabbits, and I wasn't expecting that. I thought they only produce rabbit's feet, so I'll need to add some looms in the coop as well. I also ran by the blacksmiths and opened up everything I found in the mines last few days, and I found 2 items I was able to donate to the museum, lunarite and a fairy stone. I also received some life elixir and a dwarf gadget, which I know I need to build some sort of computer thing for my farm, so I did receive a few useful items. What happened to you, Haley? Man, these character redemption arcs are going strong. I used the prize ticket I earned from Linus's cleanup quest and received 3 mystery boxes, which will open up later because the blacksmith is closed at the moment. I then found Kent and gave him the star fruit he requested, which he was going to give to his wife, and he looked rather happy, which made me rather happy. I also bought a tea sapling from the traveling merchant, which made me remember that I planted one on my farm up in the corner by my fruit trees, and I forgot all about it all season long, so that's fun. I planted grass starters on the farm and then hauled tail to the beach, but I missed the event. They don't give you much time to get there. Jesus. Today is the first day of fall, my absolute favorite season, and we are starting the season off by making our rounds in town. First, I had Clint open the 3 mystery boxes I received the other day, and I received a golden pumpkin, some hardwood, and a book of mysteries that will grant me a small amount of experience in all areas. I do wonder if it's better to keep this book for the bookseller. You know, the bookseller that I continuously keep forgetting to visit. I accepted the giant crop order request on the quest board as I failed the last one, so I think I can complete this request by the end of the season. Now, we buy all the seeds. I probably bought way more than I could possibly handle once again, but I'm calling year 2 my stockpile year. Eventually, I'll figure out what to do with all the excess crops I've stuffed into various chests around my farm. My bat cave had a ton of fruit, as I haven't checked it in a while, but I did see the bats left me an apple, which means I now have 3 apples. So, I went ahead and donated the 3 apples to the fodder bundle, completing the last bundle at the community center. I actually did it, you guys. No, they're leaving? I didn't want them to leave. This is genuinely making me sad. And now I have an empty feeling in the depths of my heart. Everything looks so good, and even the outside of the building is all fixed up. How freaking cute! Well, I don't have to stress about this goal anymore. that was fun. For the most part. And I want to keep the positive momentum going, so from there I gathered up the last of the hardwood I needed to complete the tree repair quest, and I made a little Keebler elf home out of a stump. It looks so cute, especially in the fall time. I then fished up a bit of trash to make more quartz bars and fired some more iron ore so I can craft some sprinklers for the greenhouse. The next morning, I woke up to a letter from Mayor Lewis saying that packages have been appearing in people's homes with items they wanted years ago from the community center's bulletin board. Seems like the Junimals pulled off one last act of kindness before peacing out to the spirit world. Cute little guys. I received a notification that a train was passing through the valley, so I decided to go catch it, but instead I entered a cutscene with the wizard who was looking at that weird house with feet that I also forgot existed. Rasmodius told me that he used to be married. Oh? Are we about to get some juicy drama? He said he made a mistake that ended their marriage and that his ex-wife was so angry and envious that she turned green and began flying around, cursing everything that was in her path. Elphaba? He then told me he sealed this passageway which leads to her home because he feared she might curse one of the innocent villagers in the valley. But he's ready to unseal the passageway because he wants his magic ink back. So he's using me as a means to an end. Sounds about right. To unseal the passage, I need a dark talisman that I can acquire through Krobus in the sewers. Well, it looks like we have another interesting mission, you guys. It literally is Elphaba. Well, let's keep the cutscene momentum going, and I triggered another heart event when I entered the carpenter's home. Robin and Demetrius were having a little argument about groceries, and she asked him to get fruit, but instead he got tomatoes, which he claims are fruit. Technically they are, but when someone asks you to pick fruit, no one thinks they are talking about tomatoes. It's just like an unspoken thing, right? Yeah, Robin gets it. It's just like a thing. And then I gotta choose a response. I mean, it technically is a fruit, and I want to say vegetable because that's how most people think of tomatoes, but also Demetrius scares me. I don't want to upset him because I fear he may come after me. So I said fruit. I am a farmer, so I guess I should be technically correct and say the right thing. He did end up apologizing to Robin though, which she seemed to appreciate. And what's important here is that I didn't upset Robin, and even more importantly, I didn't upset Demetrius. Thank God. I do want to get a horse soon as well, as I think that is technically the last animal I can acquire in the game at this point. So I'll need to start gathering more hardwood. And I guess today is a cutscene day. This time, another Linus cutscene. Robin and I were coming out of her house and Linus was nearby, and she screamed because she was frightened by him. What's wrong with you, Robin? You act as if you have never seen this man a day in your life who lives right behind your house, mind you. She then offered to make him some lunch, which I thought was sweet, but he denied her offer as he said he foraged enough food for today. Robin seemed a tad offended and said that I looked like I had something to say. Now, every fiber in my being would like to invite Linus to live on the farm with me, but the more I've gotten to know him, the more it seems like he would be offended if I asked, as he likes the lifestyle he's living even though it can be tough at times. I think as long as the community offers to help him out every now and then, he seems happy, but I want to give him a little home at the same time. But I'm happy my bestie is thriving in his own way though. And he saw right through me. You're such a stubborn person, Linus, but you also inspire me. Aw, stop it. That's so sweet. Damn it. I would never offer him a home now because he'd hate me. Robin seems like she's warming up to Linus. Cute. Hopefully people will start being nicer to him. I then started planting more of my fall seeds in the greenhouse, made my way to the secret forest to start gathering hardwood for the stable, and I saw a new raccoon friend by the tree stump I recently repaired. And he demanded fish. Very specific fish. I don't even think I've caught this fish. Oh boy. Okay, I need something to smoke the fish, and I need to find a midnight carp. Another new task has been unlocked. I've caught a carp before, and it says you can find carp in the ponds, so maybe the body of water right outside this little hut? And by the time I was done gathering hardwood in the forest, it was practically midnight, so I fished in the lake right next to the raccoon, and immediately I caught the midnight carp. Well, that was easy. Now I just gotta smoke the fish and find some forageables on the beach. Maybe this won't be so hard after all. The next morning, I received a buttload of recipes in the mail. An ice cream recipe from Jody, a rice pudding recipe from Evelyn, a fried eel recipe from George, a crispy bass recipe from Kent, an algae soup recipe from Clint, a salmon dinner recipe from Gus, a stuffing recipe from Pam, a chowder recipe from Willie, an Autumn's bounty recipe from Demetrius, and a rhubarb pie recipe from Marnie. I don't know what I did to trigger all these recipes being sent to me, but I am overloaded with appreciation. I also received a message that Willie unlocked the back room to his shop. That's right. I remember being concerned about that. Well, I'll bring weapons with me, just in case. When I entered the town, there was a cute little celebratory cutscene of the newly opened community center. It was pretty cute. The mayor thanked me for fixing up the space, and he presented me with the Stardew Hero Award. How regal. Then Morris came in and complained that his sales had been plummeting. I hate that face of his, by the way. It's so creepy. And then Pierre started becoming Mr. Macho Man, and they looked as if they were about to brawl. And I told everyone to chill. I don't need spilt blood on these newly renovated floors. But Pierre decided to shame Morris out of town by reminiscing about how great the town used to be before JojaMart. He went around to each member of the community, reminding them about their time in the community center long ago and how JojaMart has destroyed their sense of community. I don't like Pierre that much, but I hate JojaCorp more, so I don't care if they run him out of town. Whatever. So we saved the community and ran out a giant corporation all in one day. We're pretty amazing, I must say. Okay, next, I went into the sewers to talk to Krobus about the dark talisman needed to unlock Elphaba's home. Krobus said he had one a while back, but dropped it in the tunnel and that it's pretty dangerous inside. Cool. I'm sure I'll be underpowered in there as well. I decided to go in the tunnel, and there only seems to be one floor, so that's good. The enemies weren't too strong, and I instantly found the dark talisman in a chest. It's kind of cute down here. Looks like I'm on a miniature island map. While in the sewer, I decided to buy the star drop from Krobus, increasing my energy. And yes, my mind is always filled with thoughts of my bird, Tiki. If only you guys could see how cute he is, you'd understand. The next morning, I received a letter from Pierre that his store is now open every day of the week. It better be, considering you're the only store here. I got a notification that a train was passing through the valley again, but nothing fell off the train this time around. There was a funny Joja Sucks graffiti on the train, but I got nothing. I ran all the way here and received absolutely nothing. I then decided to go to Leia's house because I don't think I've ever been in her house, and I entered a heart event with her as well. Leia was working on a sculpture, as she is an artist, and she was describing her creative process. I then got to pick a response to what she said, and the last two options were actually pretty funny, but the first one seemed like a good response. And at the end of the day, it's quite true. She told me she came to the valley on vacation with her parents when she was little and basically fell in love with Pelican Town. She also mentioned that it's hard to pay the bills as an artist, and I suggested she could sell her art on the internet, but she doesn't have a computer to do so, and said it was expensive to buy a computer after she just got done complaining to me about money. And then she kind of made it seem like she was done talking to me for the day. Okay. See you later, Leia. Next, I went to Willie's boathouse and he told me the back door was unlocked, and I was thrilled to see there wasn't a human tied up back here. At least I don't think there is. It was just an old beat up boat. Willie said it used to be his dad's boat and he'd repair it if he had the materials to do so. Okay, what do you need from me, Willie? Of course you need hardwood. Iridium anchor? Okay. Well, this is not going to get accomplished anytime soon. So yes, another quest put on the back burner in my mind. It seems this boat can take me to another destination though, which is exciting. While at Willie's shop, I also purchased his fish smoker recipe so I can smoke that fish for the cute little raccoon in the forest. It also seems to double the amount a fish is worth, so I can use the smoker on all the fish I have stored in my chest to earn a decent profit as well. While in the forest gathering hardwood, I found a secret note, which was an old photo of Marnie and Jess, and it's so cute. And it turns out I can't craft the smoker because I need a cave jelly, and I don't have one. There's always something that I'm missing, I swear. So I'll need to go mining again this week. And at the end of the night, I leveled up my foraging skill to 10 and went with the lumberjack profession as I need hardwood for basically everything lately. My first batch of eggplants were ready to harvest the next morning, alongside a few bok choy, and I spent the bulk of the day gathering materials and foraging. And with my new lumberjack profession, I was able to grab a good amount of hardwood by chopping down regular trees, which was exactly what I wanted. At the end of the evening, Mother Nature was upset and destroyed the door on the abandoned Joja store, making me believe we can now go inside. That also makes me wonder, where does Shane work now that Joja is no longer in town? Same with Sam. I learned to make fruit salad on TV the next morning, and once again went to the secret woods to gather some hardwood. While on my way to the beach to look for some cockles, I ran into another heart event for Sebastian. He was standing in the rain at the end of the pier, and it looks like his heart event was triggered by the rain. So I'm lucky I ran into it. It's all thanks to you, little raccoon. He said he likes the rain because it makes everyone disappear. Basically, it makes the world a bit more quiet. That's also why I like the rain. All the annoying people of the world stay indoors. It's weird how much I relate to Sebastian in certain ways. I think that's what draws me to him. But he said he doesn't feel anxious around me, and he shared his umbrella with me, you guys. It's so stinking cute. Alright, moving on. I ran into a heart event for Abigail. If I run into one, I know I'm about to run into another. She was outside playing the flute, and she said I would appreciate this somber ambiance. What's that supposed to mean? She said she came outside to spend time alone, but she doesn't mind my company. Aw, everyone in town hates everyone else except for me. But unlike Sebastian, she didn't have an umbrella, so instead she invited me to stand with her under the tree. Everyone is being so cute today in the rain. The more I talk to Abigail, the more I appreciate her. Abigail and Sebastian are quiet people who appreciate the simple things in life that others would simply pass over. And so I admire them in that way because I'm similar in that aspect as well. I then pulled out a mini harp. Where was I keeping that? I didn't know I could play the harp. We then started to play some really lovely music. I really enjoyed this heart scene. It was adorable. The fortune teller has showered me with good luck today, so I'm going to head into the mines to look for that jellyfish I need to craft the fish smoker. I wasn't exactly sure on what level the mines you can catch the cave jelly, but I started on level 60, caught a bunch of ghost fish, and decided to move to the fire levels and fish in the lava pool to see if I may have a better chance of finding one there. It's going to take me forever to find this freaking jellyfish. Oh my god, how is there this many soda cans and soggy newspaper in a pool of lava? All I seemed to be getting was trash in the lava lakes, and then finally I got something on the line which was really hard to catch, and it was a lava eel, which I've yet to find. I then moved to level 20 to try my luck there, and I caught a new fish, a stonefish, but no cave jelly. And I used my last piece of bait. So I think I'll come back with some lucky buffs. Maybe a lucky tackle too. I don't know, something that'll ease my pain when it comes to looking for this freaking jellyfish. I went home and started turning all that trash into items I could use, harvested some cranberries and corn from my garden, and went to bed. I had some artichokes and amaranth ready to harvest the next morning, so I did that and planted even more amaranth for the request I accepted from Mayor Lewis at the beginning of the month. Well, I think today is going to be a harvest materials type of day, and maybe I'll get lucky and find some of the cockles down by the beach. Ooh, I'm about to get some tea once again from being the town snoop. Lewis seems to have upset Marnie by rejecting her, I take it, or rejecting the idea of being a public couple. Marnie told him there are things more important in life than work and reputations, but she was still fine with their secret relationship. Girl, drop him. Nuh-uh, that's not okay. What the heck, Mayor, you dirty dog. But I caught you both, red-handed, again. Marnie, as if I haven't caught you both a million times before. Chill. Curse my kind heart. I love drama, but I wouldn't do Marnie dirty. The mayor, yes, but Marnie, I still like her, I guess. That's honestly a good question. So now I'm the creep? I mean, I'm kind of invested in this relationship now, so deal with it. The next morning, I received an eggplant parmesan recipe from Lewis. Still trying to earn my favor, it seems. Alright, today, since I have all this money and a bunch of hardwood on me, let's upgrade my home one more time. Even though I'm not really doing much with the interior at the moment. Interior decorating will come once I have a steady flow of cash. I'm getting there though. Oh my god, they're back! Oh my god, they're back. My little friends. So we have a new bundle to complete, and everything they're asking for are items that look new, and I have no idea where to find them. So that makes me believe I still have a bunch of stuff left to discover in this game, because what do you mean they want dinosaur mayonnaise? Where do I get that? Next, I entered the saloon and began a cutscene with Gus. He was depressed because his earnings weren't great last month. I mean, what do you expect? There's like 20 people in town. He was complaining about Pam because she hasn't paid her tab in weeks. I can imagine your frustration, friend. Then Pam comes walking in. This is awkward. Gus, stop being a pushover, my dude. I guess I'll be the one to break the bad news. I tried to do it nicely, and she kinda got the hint, but she also got mad. Look at that face. At least she paid off her tab, and I don't mind, Gus, but grow a backbone. It'll save you some stress in the future. Oh, that's adorable. I look like a 70s flower child. I found Shane walking by, and I wished he would comment on what he does for work now that Joja has closed. I'm assuming he works on the farm with Marnie, raising those cute blue chickens. All right, let's craft a few items for the farm. I crafted a farm computer, 3 more looms, 1 more oil maker, 2 deluxe worm bins, and 1 sprinkler. I placed down the computer to see what it does, and it just gives me an overview of my farm, which is actually quite nice. The additional worm bins will help me gather bait more quickly, and I placed the rest of the artisan machines in the barns and coops. The next morning, I woke up to Gus at my front door. He came by to tell me that everyone in town seemed a bit nervous about me moving here at first, and then cut me off to take out a large pot from his pocket to stir it. Okay. Well, he was using his pot of sauce he brought with him as an analogy, saying that I was an added ingredient that ended up making the town better. Aw, what a weird way to say that we're friends, but thanks, Gus. And he gave me a jukebox. My first bunch of grapes were ready to harvest, as well as more eggplants, and I decided to add some grapes to the kegs to make some wine. Hopefully that's worth a good amount of money. I went to gather some hardwood, bought a few hats from the little mouse, and forage for the remainder of the evening. I spent a good chunk of the day harvesting crops and planting more seeds. Then I found the traveling merchant near the secret woods, bought some mega bombs I'm going to stockpile for the skull caverns in the future, as well as another coffee bean, which I plan to plant in my greenhouse eventually. I then decided to test my luck once again with the cave jelly. I brought 2 new bobbers with me to see if that may help increase my odds. I did catch a new fish while in the icy section, an ice pip, so that was cool. Oh my god, freaking yes! Finally. So I managed to find a cave jelly, finally, and I just tried my luck for the rest of the evening to see if I could catch another one, and I actually managed to catch 1 more. So now I can build 2 fish smokers. We're on our way to a beautiful friendship, Mr. Raccoon. My house upgrade completed, and I now have an upstairs and a kid's bedroom too. I guess that means I may have to look into settling down soon. And it's going to continue being undecorated for the time being. After taking care of a few things on the farm, I figured it would be a good time to go see what the wizard's ex-wife has been up to. We unlocked the weird bird box thing, so let's go inside the cave, and immediately this looks like a giant nope to me. This game's version of a pentagram on the floor looks like a trap. Yep, it transported me into the game of Jumanji. Fun. I ran across a troll-like creature who said I cannot pass because this is private property, and I tried to give him food, but he didn't want it. So maybe I need to find something he likes to eat? I need more information on goblins, right? Secret notes, perhaps? Nothing. So next I went to check the library and I found nothing. My last bet is to ask the wizard, and he had nothing to say. I couldn't find any information in his tower either. Well, now I'm at a loss. I'm sure some information will pop up eventually. The next morning, I learned how to make blackberry cobbler on TV, and my pumpkins were ready to harvest. Don't they look so cute and festive? I planted some wild seeds in their place, and today was a pretty laid-back day where I just did farm chores and gathered more materials all day long. I stopped by the carpenters to give Robin another job, and it looks like I can separately pay to add additional rooms to my home. That's so cool. But for now, I simply want to add a shed on my farm so I can place all of my random devices inside to make it look a bit more tidy. I also bought a big chest recipe from her shop. Yes, please. I didn't even know this existed. This is like the most exciting item I've purchased so far. And from there, I kind of purchased every crafting recipe she had for sale. I'll need them eventually. Why the heck do I just waltz into people's... What the hell? How? How did I know that was there? What exactly is this stash I'm holding? This music isn't making this any less comical. Nah, your wife should know. I'm not super buddy-buddy with you anymore, dude. You're terrible. Even though I don't like him as much anymore, he does have a point. Why am I in here? Okay, well, that was a cutscene. Moving on, we have another one of Abigail's heart scenes, I think. She was arguing with her mom, and Caroline was being a bit sharp, saying she should appreciate that her parents are letting her live with them. I hate when parents guilt you over stuff like that, especially when you're still so young. It seems that her parents wanted her to dress a specific way, and she wasn't cool with that, which I understand. And Caroline apologized, and then Abigail freaked out. I don't know why, but yeah. Fun looking avatar there, Abigail. I'm always sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. I also bought a dehydrator recipe from Pierre and the bouquet. I plan to give the flowers to either Shane or Sebastian, so might as well buy it now. And I guess you can buy multiple? I'm not about to start some love triangle drama in the town. I received a message from the mayor reminding me that the Stardew Valley fair was tomorrow, and I needed to bring 9 items for my display. I have a bunch of high quality items lying around, so I'll round up a few that I think would do well at the festival and keep them in my inventory so I don't forget. And for the rest of the day, I went around gathering wood, checking and refilling crab pots, and that's about it. Alright, here we are once again at the Stardew Valley fair. And funny enough, I had a few people leave comments saying that the spinner game actually is rigged and you have a better chance of winning if you choose green. Like a 75% chance, so I'm going to try betting on green once I get some star tokens. The odds should be in my favor. It's cute to see Vincent and Kent interacting. His dialogue with his dad at the fair warmed my little heart. I added some items to my display, and hopefully everything I added will be enough to beat Pierre. I played the shooting game, didn't do great, and then I played the fishing game, and that's where it's at. That's where you earn the star tokens. Okay, I'm betting everything on green. Oh god, please don't lose. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, internet. So I just kept betting 200 on green, and I only lost a few times, but I kept doing it until I had enough star tokens to buy everything at the booth. Once I finished talking with the last few people, including Shane, who seemed happy hanging around the animals, I had the mayor judge our displays, and all I have to say is in your face, Pierre. Feels good to win first place 2 years in a row, unlike the egg hunt. The next morning, I learned how to make maple bars, and I had a bunch of amaranth, corn, and grapes to harvest today. I finished harvesting 100 pieces of amaranth for that large request, so now I just need to ship it all. I ran to the mayor's house to use my prize ticket from the fair and received a cup of Stardrop tea. From there, I accepted a quest on the town's board to catch 10 albacore in 5 days. Doesn't seem too difficult. So I decided to get to it and start fishing, and I had some company while I was there with my perhaps potential future boyfriend. But after fishing for a few hours, I didn't find any albacore, so I gave up for the day. And at the end of the night, I did level up my fishing skill to 10, and I chose the angler profession as that seemed a bit more worthwhile. I received 7,500 gold coins for completing the amaranth quest, which is awesome. And you know, you guys, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and give this bouquet to someone. Breaking down each character in my personal point of view, I feel like I'm not connecting with Elliot because I'm not into the feminine artist type. Harvey is just kind of there for me. Sam is a bit too childish for my liking, although he's cool. And I haven't gotten to know Alex too much, but I've never been into the I'm so cool and strong jock types. So for me personally, it's between Shane and Sebastian. It's so hard because I like them both, but I think my personality type just clicks more with Sebastian in this game. He's nerdy and relaxed and gloomy, but not too gloomy, and nice. It's hard because they are both cool for different reasons. But for this playthrough, I'm going with Sebastian. Hope that doesn't anger any of you guys, but I know it probably will. Also, it's the perfect weather to give Sebastian the flowers. All right, let's see what he says. And I don't think I've seen this man blush yet. Have I? Regardless, it's cute. And he didn't reject me, so that's a win, you guys. I also gave him my Star Drop tea because I was in such a happy mood. Did I waste it on him? I don't think so. Look at that smile. And giving him that gift brought us to 9 hearts. Heck yeah. Robin finished building the shed. I totally forgot about that. So I decided to add another room onto the house. And it was an instantaneous build, so I decided to also open up my bedroom by removing the walls, added a corner room as well as a cubby room. Today I upgraded my relationship with Sebastian to boyfriend status and upgraded my house with 3 additional rooms. What a productive and wonderful day. On my way back to the farm, I decided to head into the tunnel again because I had some batteries on me, and by placing a battery in the fuse box, I opened it up and found a note inside from Mr. Key. I have so many random quests and notes from this dude. He's so mysterious. So I need to bring a rainbow shell to the train platform. Okie dokie. The next morning, I decided to complete a few regular requests, a battery pack for Pam, and a lobster for Gus. I then had Clint open up a few mystery boxes and geodes, receiving basically trash. And I've yet to visit the bookseller this entire playthrough, and since I saw he was in town, I grabbed the few books I had and made my way to visit the dude. I decided to buy a book called Way of the Wind Part 1, which will make my running speed a bit faster, and I traded in my book of mysteries for 7 mystery boxes. I finally accomplished something at the bookseller. I then forced Clint to open up my new mystery boxes, all of which contain food, seeds, and a sprinkler. At least it's stuff I can use. From there, I tried my luck once again fishing for albacore, and I ended up finding 1. So I am unsure if I'm going to be able to complete that quest or not. Today was just a basic farming day, running around doing chores and collecting materials. Nothing too exciting going on. The next morning, I learned how to make crab cakes and then decided to head on over to Robin's so she can finally build me a stable so I can have a cute horse on my farm. It'll cost me 100 hardwood, but I think it'll be worth it. While in the area, I decided to go mine in the quarry to grab all the ore and coal, and I found 2 secret notes while mining. One that was Sam's holiday shopping list, and it showed a bunch of other villagers' favorite items. And now I know that Sebastian also loves frozen tears. That's so emo. Alright, boyfriend, I'll bring you a frozen tear. They are quite pretty, I must admit. The second secret note was another map, and I know exactly where that area is, so I went ahead and made my way there, but I found nothing. So maybe I already picked up this item before? Well, anyways, I went home and cooked a bunch of useful dishes because I feel like braving the skull caverns tomorrow. Wish me luck. And speaking of mining, I leveled up my mining skill to 10 when I went to bed, and for the profession, I wasn't really sure what option to pick as they both seemed not great. But what do I know? I went with the blacksmith profession. Let me know if that was the wrong choice. I spent the morning harvesting crops and checking up on my animals, and once it reached 10 a.m., I made my way to the bus stop to head to the Calico Desert. My goal is simply to make it to level 25 for Mr. Key's request, so let's see if I can do that. I used my bombs whenever I had a good opportunity to do so, as it made things move way more quickly. I was doing so well in the caverns, and when I went to eat some food because my health was low, I was too close to the ladder and accidentally exited the mines. When I tell you, I wanted to scream. Well, at this point, I might as well just hop back in and grab as many resources as I possibly can. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to reach level 25 if I'm lucky enough. I ran through the levels as fast as I could and used up all of my food and all of my bombs. I did manage to find 20 iridium ore, and even though I knew I was going to pass out here, I didn't care. I saw iridium ore and I had to stop and grab it. And I got so super lucky by finding the ladder down to level 25 with 20 minutes to spare. But I did it, you guys. I did it. I even managed to make it to the bus so I could pass out on my home turf. But hey, I'd call that a pretty successful trip. For the most part. The next morning, I got a letter from the ever so mysterious Mr. Key, and inside he enclosed 10,000 gold coins for reaching level 25. Dang, this guy's got money. While in the school caverns yesterday, I also found 3 secret notes. One showed another map, I think near the beach or maybe the guild. Another note was a message that someone was waiting for me on level 100 in the skull caverns. I barely made it to level 25. How am I supposed to make it to level 100 in one day? That's impossible. And the other note was a list from Maru of things she needed for her greatest invention. And look at that, I have now found every secret note. 1 collection completed. And it looks like I finally have my cute little horse on my farm, now officially owning every animal in the game that I know of. I named my horse Angus because I love the movie Brave. Oh my goodness, he's so cute! This is going to make getting around the valley so much easier. All right, now that we have some iridium bars and a good chunk of money, let's make Clint's day by upgrading a tool. I also need him to open up all my Omni Geodes I found yesterday. Not the best haul, but I did get a few new things I can donate to the museum. And as for my first iridium upgrade, I decided to go with my pickaxe. It seems like the smartest option. I donated the 2 new items to the museum and received a raccoon rare crow. It's so cute! Which reminds me, I need to go to the beach and check if I caught any more cockles for the raccoon. I did not. Well, I have an idea to make this a bit faster. I accepted a quest on the board from Gus, who needed 24 eggs for a giant omelet. I gotcha, Gus. From there, I went around collecting all my crab pots scattered around the valley to place them on the beach, hopefully making the process of finding cockles a bit faster. I don't want to waste materials on crafting more crab pots. This looks like the spot from the map. Yep, right here. Another one of those freaky dolls. I think this is doll number 3. Well, I'm glad I found it, I guess. The next morning, I took my cute little horse out to the beach to place all my crab pots, and I luckily did find a cockle on the beach, so I need 2 more until I could feed the little raccoon. I used my new price ticket at the mayor's house and received a double bed. It's pretty cute looking. And I stopped by the saloon to place a few of the eggs I've gathered in Gus's fridge for the board request. From there, I just did a bunch of random things on my farm for the remainder of the evening. I found 1 more cockle at the beach, which means we have 1 more left. I dropped off a few more eggs at the saloon for Gus and picked up my iridium pickaxe from Clint. And from there, it was another simple day just collecting materials to fix Willie's boat. The next day, I checked my crab pots at the beach and I was unlucky. I then decided to purchase the catalog from Pierre's that gives me unlimited access to all wallpapers and floorings. That seems fun. I dropped off a few more eggs at the saloon, leaving only 8 left to donate. I bought a life elixir and a mahogany dresser from the traveling merchant, collected some hardwood in the forest, and harvested my 2 rare fall seeds that ended up being sweet gemberries. The description said it was the sweetest thing, and I remember the statue in the secret forest said it was looking for something sweet. So I decided to try and offer one of these berries to the statue, and it actually worked. I'm amazed I figured that out on my own, and I received a star drop as a reward. Look at me, solving puzzles with subtle context clues. Can't say the same thing for the maps with the arrows though. From there, I went home and placed down the catalog I bought, and oh my god, there are so many options. I'm in love. I'm definitely going to have fun playing around with these options, and I just know I'm going to be indecisive and go back and forth all day long, but I have unlimited options so I can change my mind whenever I want now, and it won't cost me money. Well, I was making my way into town to drop off the rest of the eggs for Gus's request, but I can't go into town because the festival is being set up. So instead, I went to the forest to gather materials for future upgrades, mainly chopping down trees to gather hardwood. I did that until 10 p.m. and started the cute Spirits Eve festival. I bought the rare crow from the shop because I don't think I had the witch rare crow yet. I made my rounds like always to talk to everyone, and I found it cute how Shane was going through the maze with Jas. I love them. It was so hard to choose between him and Sebastian. Haley seemed lost and was looking for her sister, but she was on the other side of the secret entrance, and I found my way through it much easier than I did last year. And a bit further down, I found Sebby. I found Vincent and Sam, and he, seemed a little influenced by the cauldron? Vampire Sam, perhaps? Given the feet under the house, I have a feeling this is the witch's cottage? The wizard's ex-wife, aka Elphaba's flying house thing? I'm sure Sam will be fine. Well, I eventually found my way through the maze and earned a prize ticket. Kind of an awesome prize. And that was that. Another fun year with a cute, fun maze. Today is the last day of fall, so next season I'll have a break from farming, which will allow me to focus on other things in the valley. I had a few things to do in town. I went to visit Sebastian to give him his little emo frozen tear, and that smile was worth it. And we're at 10 hearts now. Awesome. I have noticed there isn't that much dating dialogue with your romantic partner. I've only really noticed it like 3 times. Otherwise, it's just his normal dialogue, which is a bit disappointing. I was hoping there would be some more romantic elements implemented in the game. I know that's not what the game centers around, but still, it would make it seem a bit more dynamic and interesting. Regardless, he's completely in love with me now, as is Linus. But in a bestie forever sort of way. From there, I stopped by the museum to donate that creepy green doll I found a while back, and dropped off the remainder of the eggs at the saloon, completing that request, earning me 3,000 gold coins. I picked up my prize ticket and used the 2 I had on me, earning 4 preserve jars and a pomegranate tree. I then checked the beach and still had no luck with that last remaining cockle. Hopefully I can find one in the next 4 days. The next morning, Lewis sent me a letter saying that I'll need to give my special someone a mermaid's pendant if I'm interested in marriage. Slow down, Lewis. We just started dating about a week ago. My goodness. Take your own advice, buddy. Marnie would be thrilled. I also received a mini fridge as a reward from the egg request. Cool. And it looks like I once again failed when it comes to stockpiling hay for the winter. So typical of me. At least this time around, I'll have the money to buy it. Still a waste of money though. I then made my way to the quest board and decided to accept the wizard's request for prismatic jelly by defeating prismatic slimes. I have yet to find one, but it says you can find them in the local caves. And I could use some more resources, so I figured I could give it a shot. I stopped by the quarry to mine for coal to quickly finish a small request from Clint, and went to track him down at the Stardrop Saloon, but ran into a cutscene instead. I think this was a heart event for Elliot. I don't think I've had any heart scenes with him yet, so that's fun. He came into the saloon to relax after riding all day long, and he ordered me a drink as well. What a hotshot. Gus seemed a tad annoyed, and then I got to choose what to toast to. So many good options, but I went the simple route and chose our friendship because I'd like to get to know Elliot a bit more. We were both drunk and he started dancing and I started to giggle, which was honestly adorable. Even after the cutscene, I was still tipsy. Man, what did Gus give me? Jesus, another cutscene. Oh, that's the giant omelet for my request. Okay, well, this is important then. Gus was showing off his world-famous giant omelet he made with the 24 eggs I gave him from that request. He shared it with the entire town and everyone seemed to be enjoying it. Very wholesome. That's right. My chickens are the best in the entire town. Pasture-raised, and they're given pets each and every day. Marnie's chickens got nothing on mine. Clint didn't come into the saloon, so I went looking for him, and I couldn't find him. Went back into the saloon, and who would have guessed? Cutscene number 3. And it's a cutscene with Clint? What a tease. He played some somber music on the jukebox and asked if I wanted to join him. He seemed a little annoyed, and it looks like he's just lonely. Well, he asked me for advice since I'm a female, and I told him to just be himself. That's all anyone wants in the end, is to just see someone for who they truly are. I'd like to know if someone is a psycho right off the bat. Then Emily, his crush, came up to him asking what he would like to eat, and he seemed annoyed at himself once again for how he acts in front of her. And he tried to work up the courage to ask her out on a date, I assume, but he chickened out. Ah, come on, Clint. You were so close. Shane started making small talk with Emily, and that just made Clint even more depressed. Poor dude. Well, finally I located Clint in the saloon, turned in that coal quest, and I feel like that took forever to do. I then cooked a few dishes at home for tomorrow's mining excavation and went to sleep. I decided to start on level 60 of the mines so I can grab some iron ore while looking for the prismatic slimes. While in the mines, I completed another monster slayer goal for defeating a certain amount of bats, which is cool. I keep forgetting about the monster slayer goals, so I'll try to complete them next time. And once I made it to level 68, I left to go back to the earlier levels of the mines because I remember there being more slimes earlier in my mining journey, and I wasn't running into many on the lower floors. And I started to see more slimes, but unfortunately, I didn't find a rare prismatic slime. We'll try again tomorrow. Alright, time for another day in the mines looking for that special slime. I got lucky and found a floor infested with slimes, but still no prismatic slime. I think I found one! Stupid crab, can't you see I'm busy? Oh! Yep, I found one! I wonder if I can find another one while I'm here. I think I'm just gonna stay the whole day and keep trying. You never know. I just kept repeating levels 5 through 10, and that's where I kept finding a bunch of slimes. And now I'm starting to realize floor 6 isn't a lucky infestation floor because it's always like that, it seems. But when I left the mines later in the evening to reset the floors, I ran into another heart event with Sebastian. He was on his motorcycle about to head out for a ride and asked me to hop on because he wanted to show me something. And we rode out to a cliff overlooking Zuzu City. I'm digging the visuals. Sebastian said he comes out here when he wants to have some time to himself and asked me what I thought about it. I really want to choose the quit smoking option, but I feel like that will ruin the mood, so I said it gives me a strange, sad feeling, which seems like it was a good option to choose. He said he used to be drawn in by the city, but has found that he's actually happier in the valley. Is it because of me? It has to be because of me, right? And he basically confessed his feelings to me, and then we smooched, and it was cute. The little animation where they inch up to you is a little funny looking though. So I'm assuming that was the final heart event since he confessed. So we've now seen all of Sebastian's heart events. I'm keeping this motorcycle nerd in the valley, y'all. I went ahead and delivered the prismatic jelly to the wizard. I know I need that item for the Joja Mart bundle as well, so hopefully I'll be able to come across another one soon. Next, I ran to the beach to check out my crab pots, and I was successful, guys. We have the last needed cockle for our raccoon friend. What a glorious way to end this playthrough. I claimed my prize ticket from the Jelly Quest and got a friendship book, which will allow me to become friends with people a bit faster. That seems useful. I quickly ran home to round up the items needed for our raccoon friend, gave him his food. He called me Bobo and gave me 25 powder melon seeds. His next quest, to find a raccoon wife. Aw, good luck, buddy. I took care of my pets, planted my powder melon seeds, and went around looking for dig spots in the forest, ending my 200-day playthrough of Stardew Valley. I have been having a blast playing this game, and I'm so happy to see there is still so much left to discover. Is that because of how slow I play, or is it because there is a bunch to do in this game? I have a feeling it's a bit of both, but I'd love to continue and work towards 100%ing this game, and if you'd like to see another playthrough, I'd appreciate it if you could leave a like or a comment, as it truly helps my channel out. Feel free to leave some non-spoiler tips for my next playthrough as well. The last bunch turned out to be extremely useful and came in clutch this time around, more than you could possibly know. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next video.